and it goes pear-shaped in the first 2 years, or they show no improvement and there's no real light at the end of the tunnel, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen again. So part of me wants them to just get it out of the system, but the pragmatist in me says, well, that's probably not going to be the outcome. It shouldn't be the outcome.
You got a feeling, Chad?
It's a strange one. You want to make sure the club's successful, and for me, this generation of players are specifically different from 9 years ago. So you think of the players that are 18 years old coming out of school, that generation of player, of personality, of what their needs are as a contender or as a person that's going to be part of a program is completely different. If you haven't been inside the four walls, you wouldn't have seen that change. So to be able to get the most out of those younger athletes, it's going to be hard for a coach that's been out of the system and not with that kind of cohort of players. So that's probably my only worry with that, as well as the actually coaching element of what that is required. It's actually that connection, and that's what we just heard before. That connection part is so strong in what they need in this club, and to galvanise a group. For me, it's going to be very hard to do if you don't know what you need and the capabilities to do that with this new generation of footballer.
Well, I do have a little insight at Port Melbourne. One of my mates' sons plays there, and he's 23 or whatever he is now. He adores him, and they all adore him. So there is, just from my very small sample size of his capacity to connect with that generation, there is a score that says he can do it. Now, I've never experienced myself with him. I've never seen him in action, but he adores him. My mate's boy adores him, and all his mates do too down there at Port Melbourne. So whether or not it could translate, I think the coaching stuff's interesting, because I think he's smart enough to know what he's doing and what he wants to do, and then you just surround yourself with the best.
100%.
Then you surround yourself with a real good team, and you become the EPL-style manager, which is effectively where it's a lot of that's happening in the competition at the moment anyway. And I don't see that being beyond him.
Yeah. It's interesting, even Luke Ball, who is a part of our AFL Saturday show, which you can get wherever you get your podcasts under ABC AFL Daily, and he did the Collingwood coaching panel. And he spoke about the fact that the main questions they asked weren't about X's and O's, and I've heard Corbin speak about this since as well, but it was basically like, who are you, what shaped you as a person, what shaped you as a coach. There are a couple more, but those were the five big questions. Like, I was surprised by how little of it was X's and O's, what's your game style, where's the game going.
Yep. Well, that's everything now, is it? Because they're spending so much time together. Not like the old days where you rock up after work and train for 3 hours, 4 till 7 or whatever it was.
Practice the huddle,
5 till 8.
Kick in, and
that's right, yeah. And you that was the contact point. That was all the contact point between the coach and players. Now it's not 24/7, but it's not far off that. The way they spend hours together today as part of their programs and preparation. So, yeah, you've got to have that layer of connectability and management and understanding and empathy and all that sort of stuff. And then, because you're the senior coach, you're a layer of the executive as well, and the club face and sponsors and marketing and all that comes with that, where assistant coaches don't have to deal with that. There's a whole lot more to it than just blowing the whistle and moving the cones on a training night.
The thoughts on the SMS reflect our listeners' views. Brendan from Hobart says the difference is Graham Wright is running the Carlton coaching search rather than what might be taking place in terms of the former players running it. 0437 774 774. Liv in Marupna says, I think this is a danger game for the Blues. I hope they don't take it easy. And Simon from the York Peninsula in South Australia says, James Hu, hypothetical hogwash. There's a game of footy about to start, and yet as you try and assess both lists, it makes it hard when you don't know what the future looks like. The Blues on paper look like they have a better side, and yet by all reports from John Longmire when he fronts the media, he says neither club have reached out to him, and yet if there was one, you put in a phone call and say we're not going to go through the process, maybe it's John Longmire as a coach who's got his side to grand finals and has built culture in the past, and yet neither side have really started their process.
Who was the text from, Clinchy?
From Brendan, Liv, and Simon on the York Peninsula, who said James Hu.
Who said about hypothetical hogswash?
That was from Simon on the York Peninsula.
Yeah. The only thing I'd say, Simon, is that go and stand around any water cooler or any pub or cafe where people follow football.
Yep.
And this is what they're talking about. Is it Herd? Is it someone else? Like, this is the conversation at the moment that most footy fans are having.
Yeah, and we're dealing with Essendon here tonight. Both clubs looking for a coach. James Hurd's pretty relevant in the conversation.
The crowd is building here at the MCG, and they have dimmed the lights, a chance to head down at ground level, and Hamish McLaughlin's going to take us through the formalities.
Neil Danaher died at just 65 years of age. A son, brother, husband, father, grandfather. An inspiration, fearless and courageous. A fighter, footballing legend and former Australian of the Year. His signature cry, "Play on," is louder now than ever before. Right now, though, there is no treatment and no cure for MND. And tomorrow, 2 more Australians will be diagnosed with MND. And 2 more families will be given the news that no families should.
Living with a beast is relentless. It takes your voice, your body, your breath, and time. Once a silent fight, no longer silent. Neil Danaher sparked a movement that united a nation. A beanie became a symbol of hope. A community rallying together. The fight is far from over.
We're told it's hopeless. We're told we will die. We're told we can't do anything for you. I don't accept that.
It may be a generational fight, but we can't give in, and we won't give up, and we'll keep on fighting.
Tonight, we celebrate and remember Neil by shining a light on MND, a beacon of hope and a poignant expression of Neil Danaher's everlasting legacy. MND's impact is growing, so we must keep fighting. Life expectancy is just 27 months, and for many, life changes almost immediately. So tonight, if you can, donate by purchasing a digital beanie at bigfreeze.com.au to help the fight against the beast for vital research and care projects. It takes people to defeat the beast. So, for the legend that was Neil, play on.
Thanks, Hamish. Thanks, footy fans.
Quite a moving visual scene as the floodlights were dimmed here at the MCG. They had the lights in the middle of the centre circle. The Carlton players lined up on the edge of the centre square at the Punt Road end, the Essendon players at the City end, and fans holding up their phones to provide the light in which Hamish McLaughlin was describing. And for some of the Essendon faithful that are out there, Terry Danaher is there. What an emotional couple of weeks it would have been for the Danaher family, and yet once more they front up and play the front role of fighting this incredible challenge of MND, where they don't have a cure at the moment, and each of the Essendon players coming across at the moment.
They're incredible, aren't they? The Danahus, all the families over there on the Shane Warnsdown wing at the moment. They're an incredible family.
Incredible family.
Just ridiculously incredible. It's hard to fathom how they've been able to push so hard, be so strong, be the driving force behind this whole thing. And one of the comments in the narrative, in the narration there from the actor, I can't remember his name.
Matty Nable,
whose brother passed away through MND. About he captured the heart. He started the national movement. Neil started the movement. That's not easy to do,
and
especially in that condition.
In a moment of such adversity.
Yeah.
It was beautiful to see the Essendon players, such a famous Essendon family, the Danahers, of course, with the first quartet of brothers to all play in the same team. All of the Essendon players went over and shook the hands of each of the members of the Danaher family, and now Carlton have done the same. So I got his book a few months ago as a present, The Power of Choice, and we all have the power of choice every day to choose our attitude and how we view everything.
My daughter says that to me every time I say something stupid or don't want to do something or I'm grumpy. She says, you choose your actions, mate.
Yep.
You choose. It's up to you. You choose how you respond. You choose your actions.
Tomorrow is going to be a phenomenal day as the King's Birthday Clash takes place. Neil's image is in front of the Big Freeze 12, which is at the city end here at the MCG, where the sliding will take place. Coverage, of course, tomorrow from 2 p.m. on ABC Listen, and for some stations it'll be on local radio from 2:30 p.m. But Benny Cameron alongside Corbin Middlemass, Bob Murphy and
Luke Ball
will be part of your call team tomorrow afternoon.
And don't forget, Neil Danaher's state funeral will be broadcast on the ABC on Sport Digital and on ABC Listen from 1 p.m. on Wednesday. So that's all to look forward to.
It's going to be big.
And as we've seen with the Anzac Eve clash, the tradition of having a game played at night, it does allow visually for a new sort of set of circumstances, and for Essendon, a club in which Neil played for, and the family tradition, I'm sure it's an emotional night for them as they now get ready to play the game. And for Carlton, it's a chance to try and continue with the winning, which has been the case under Josh Fraser in their last 3 matches. So Matt Clinton, Ben Cameron to call the action, Daniel Harford and Chan Wingard, your experts, the final member of our team. You've heard her, Lauren Borden. She's down on the boundary for us tonight. Loz, welcome to you. The crowd has built in the last half an hour or so, and looks like we're going to be in for a big occasion once more.
It certainly has, Clinchy. It didn't look that promising. Probably about half an hour or so. There was still quite a lot of spare seats, but they're heading for about 70,000 here tonight, and you can feel, as much as these two sides haven't had the results on the board for the last few years, you can feel that these Carlton and Essendon fans come here tonight because of the rivalry, and it's the 4th time that they have played on this King's Birthday Eve that they're starting to make their own. I just watched Josh Fraser and Dean Solomon walk off together, so after the moment for Neil Danaher in the middle, they actually came off the ground together, had a little bit of a hug and a pat on the back, so I guess they're maybe having a little chat about the fact that they're in a similar situation at the moment. But beautiful conditions for footy tonight. It might be weather, but it's we can see the Danahers now waving their Essendon scarves as well on the big screen as it's a minute to go. But really nice weather down here. Good surface despite all the rain, but very excited for this one to get underway.
Thank you to Lauren Borden. Just a reminder, Neil Danaher's state funeral will be broadcast on ABC Sport Digital and ABC Listen from 1 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. Paddy Cripps won the toss. The Blues will head to the punt road end in the opening quarter. Anyone brave enough to give the Bombers a chance tonight?
Looking at me.
I give him a sneaky little one.
Sneaky little chance?
Look, Carlton can't allow that to happen. It's a sneaky little one, but it's a little one.
Not for you, Chad?
No, I can't see it happening unless they can keep the ball forward in their forward half more than Carlton, and no team's been able to do that in the last 3 weeks.
The Essendon fans are flying their flags and their scarves in true spirit. They've won one of their last 25 matches as they play their first home game under interim coach Dean Solomon. While for Carlton, they're looking to continue the charge. 3 consecutive victories under interim coach Josh Fraser. The battle of the caretaker coaches in round 13 of the AFL. The Blues and the Bombers. Here's Ben Cameron.
Underway, Pitnet hooks it down. He follows up at ground level, gives it away to Cribbs. Now Walsh. He's stumbling to ground, gets the handball out to Jagger Smith. Off to Wilson. Dashing off the back flank for the Blues. Kicks up around the worn wing. Merritt steals it, holding free kick. It'll come back and go to Hayward. His former side Sydney with a thrilling 2-point win earlier. Over St Kilda, off to Jagger Smith. Kicks inside 50. And the mark taken by Blackiston. Essendon with the ball back in their back pocket. Scores level, 31 seconds in. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport.
So Ben Mackay has started forward for the Bombers tonight alongside Caddy and Jones. The long kick up towards the wing. Presenting in the pack, no mark taken by Dirksen. Walsh gets a hand pass to Wilson. It kicks into the middle of the ground and Cripps Sparks. What a phenomenal 3 weeks he's had. Away to Florent. Nice sidestep around Merritt inside 50. Missed the mark. Bombers go racing after it. Pryor gathers. Hand pass a little loose. Blackiston needs to work it back to Roberts, all the way back to the defensive goal square where Reid gets the kick away and a chance for Daywicks to clear from left half back.
There's running away with it. Kicks on the left. Looking for Durham. Takes the mark on the logo.
Get it in.
Has Ben Mackay on, sends it in that direction, but Dirksen's back there for the Blues. Fires the handball to Wilson from the back pocket, kicks out wide and stretching out. Haynes just gets a fingertip on it, out of play. Throw in half forward for Essendon.
Way too long to get that ball in, Durham. He had Dursma streaming through the corridor. Had Mackay in the pocket, just waited way too long.
1v1.
Yeah.
Running back to goal. Please, just kick it to us.
Scores level through the opening 96 seconds. Hitting it. Soccers it out of the ruck and Jagger Smith bursts onto it. Turns it over at half back for the Blues. Onto it Dursma. Gets it away towards Perkins. Off to Roby. Rushes a kick. Back there to take the mark at fullback team. Not paid. Dirksen comes in to help out and the Blues work it out. Cowan with a rush kick.
His kick is chopped off though by Bryan, who takes the mark. He's just outside 50 though as he looks inside a congested forward 50. Tries to poke a kick over the top. Cowan rises in his 50th game, makes the spoil. Running onto it Ainsworth at half back for the Blues. Chips it out to Harry Mackay and he takes the mark in front of Blackiston. Working up the ground, kicks looking for McGovern, back with a flight, Langford makes the spoil, first back onto it, the experienced Bomber, hand pass inboard to Merritt, tackled and brought down by Walsh. Cox can't take the footy, he wrestles with Akers against the boundary line, it stays in momentarily before McGovern takes it across the line, and throwing it right half forward for the Blues, no score through the opening 3 minutes, Sunday night footy on ABC Sport.
The problem with Ben Mackay starting forward is we don't get the twins on one another.
That's true. They haven't played against each other a lot, have they?
Very
once.
Very rarely.
Yeah, once, yeah. Someone's always been injured.
We thought they were the same person for a while. The twins is clearing kick coming from Setterfield there for the Dons. Tumbles it up towards the wing and carried out by Dirksen. We did have their mum on many moons ago and she explained to us that they're mirror image twins. So they both have a bigger foot than the other, but it's the opposite foot. So I think it's a right foot for Ben, who is a right footer, and Harry's a left footer. And they've got very different personalities, like opposite personalities, and one was a forward, one was a defender. That's how she explained it to us.
Trace, I've known their mum since she was a teenager.
Durham emerges with the footy on the wing for Essendon. Text her about it half, she'll tell you. And it's the Blues win it back. Turned over though, Durham takes it back for Essendon. In the middle of the MCG. Setterfield a handball over the top. Daywicks runs an arc, kicks inside 50. Back there Dirksen. Marks at fullback for the Blues. No score through the opening 4 minutes.
Sends it out to Haynes, who marks at left half back for the Blues on the charge. Up the Shane stand wing. Kicks in the direction of Haywood. He thought he had the arms chopped and the umpire agreed in the end. Free kick going the way of the Blues. Centre wing on the outer side. No score through the opening 4 minutes. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport. Haywood kicks to a one-on-one. Wrestling Kemp tried to spoil it away in the end against Reid. Running on Pryor. Gets the hand pass away to Setterfield. Works it back by hand to Zach Merritt. He decides to just chip it out to Zach Reid, who marks it right half back. For the record, round 13, 2024, the first time Harry and Ben played against each other. The Blues got the points there by 26 points, but for 9 years they avoided each other. Here's a chance for Dursma to switch for the Bombers across half back. Bryan takes the mark, comes inboard. Zach Merritt has to reach up with the right arm and reels in the mark.
Merritt wants to kick it out wide, finds Cox over halfway Essendon. He pokes it on short and Durham leads up to mark.
In the back half, they're really keen to get it back into the corridor. Then, as we heard Ash Hansen say, the whole game opens up. The whole ground opens up for the forwards to work.
Wants to kick it towards the opposite pocket. Up they go. Pryor unable to mark. Gets it back from Daywicks and back feeds the handball Pryor. Out towards Redmond, who gets around one. Snaps on goal from distance and he's kicked it. The Red Dog with a dream start for Essendon. And he loves it. One straight 6 to no score through 5 minutes. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport. Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard.
And geez, Essendon just lifted their intensity on the ball. They're starting to get a little bit of turnover, and Redmond looked like he was going the outside of the boot.
Yeah.
Stepped and then put it on a traditional snap. It was a very interesting shot at goal. He probably could have run straight to the goals and kicked the drop punt, but nonetheless, 6 points. Good start for Essendon, and like I said, they're going to keep this intensity up, and I think if you stop Carlton getting that kick mark, keep it live, it's probably going to play in the favour of Essendon. But at least they've changed angles. They've gone from one side to the other, get the ball in Merritt's hand in a corridor, goes out wide. It was very strategic, I suppose, placement with ball, and they've actually attacked offline as well from the fat side, so it was an interesting kick inside forward 50.
Chad Wingard with you on ABC Sport. Pitnet one down the tap, but a free kick going the way of the Bombers, and Brian is going to take it. Feeds the hand pass around the back to Merritt, who gets clear space, gains 10 metres, drives it inside 50, got bumped late, and Cowan takes the intercepting mark.
To Merritt off the back of the square is that release handball player. They're trying to get the run and drive through him.
Bombers have only led at quarter time once so far in 2026. That was the one time they've got a win as well against the Demons.
Worst first quarter team in the comp, Clinchy.
A kick out towards Chera, who takes the mark from Cowan. He has it at the half-back line for the Blues. Looks to come inboard to Walsh on the bounce. He gathers and looks to switch out to the member side, where Blake Acres is all on his own. He looks to play on, has options at centre-half forward. Hewitt takes the mark. Now where to? 65 metres out from home for the Blues. Heading to the city end in this opening term. Goes laterally out to Haynes, who's unmarked, and he can just chip it over the top. Acres is all on his own, but he is on a tight angle. About 10 metres in from the boundary in the right forward pocket. He'll shoot from 45 metres out.
Yeah, that Merritt kick inside forward 50 just got them off balance, the Bombers. They'd all come up ready for a bit of a press, but the quick turnover caught them on their heels a bit. The Carlton was able to work the ball up nicely.
Featured in the VFL for 7 games before getting his chance last week. 20 disposals and a behind against the Cats. Blake Acres comes in for the Blues first on the right forward pocket. It's across the face of goal. And the mark, Pitnet, not paid. Spoiled away at the last minute, and then Reid got a hand pass to Langford, who just rushes it through. A minor score for the Blues, and it's Essendon to lead by 5 points. Did he have enough of it, Mark Pitnet?
No, I don't think he did.
It's been the question we've been asking all week after the Mitch Lewis
one.
Yes.
non-mark, long kick in, up towards the contest, and the Blues take it back. Hewitt, handball away to Walsh, steps around one, handball back to Hewitt, goes back to Dean. Left foot kick up towards half forward, and Pitnet marks this one.
Giving away too much space at this stage. Pitnet
holds it for plenty long enough, kicks into the pocket, coming across Pryor, spoils it away from Chera, out of play, throw in 45 around from the attacking goal for the Blues.
So both teams really struggling to get a handle on their opponents in transition at the moment. There's a lot of space opening up pretty quickly, and both teams trying to get the ball back through the corridor in the back half of the ground.
Thrown in inside the forward 50 for the Blues. Pitnet to the front. Brian tries to wrestle him away. Slapped away by Durham, who goes racing after it. Walsh, did he drag him away? We're not in possession. Umpire way play on. Cripps knocked it back to Walsh. Hand pass inboard. Chopped off. The Bombers through half back. Brian gets a hand pass away to Durham. Turns boundary side. Kicks up. Great mark taken by Roby. Looks to transition through the middle of the ground. Missed Sardis with a kick over the head. And Wilson raced back for the Blues. Hand pass away to Newman. To Dirksen. Through the middle of the ground to Cowan. Hand pass up to Ainsworth. Links up with Newman. Run down. Great chase by Roby. Umpire waves play on. The Bombers take it back through Merritt. Feeds it across half back. Quick 1-2 as Merritt gathers it. And feeds the hand pass back to Roberts.
Roberts kicks into the middle of the ground for Durham. Marks at centre half back. Nothing he likes immediately. Essendon by 5 points. There's a wrestle going on as well. Durham chips it out to Roby. He moves it out wide to the Warren wing. Farrow that neat looking left foot. Moves it up to Perkins. Kicks inside 50. And Ben Mackay marks. 40 out, 45 degree angle, right half forward. He'll go back and kick for goal.
Geez, Carlton all switched off then. That was almost like a light switch. So we're not going to defend for this passage. We're going to allow them to just chip kick, uncontested marks, 6 in a row, and they just picked them apart. No one really wanted to stop the ball. No one wanted to press. They were in between defence at the moment. So Essendon from 45 out. Let's see if they can convert.
Moved forward last week. Kicked his first goal since 2022. His drop punt here. He's wide right. Just sneaking through for a score. Essendon by one straight kick. 1-1 plays one behind. We've played 10 minutes.
Which of his feet are bigger again?
His right boot. Their kicking boot.
Kicking boot, right.
They used to buy 2 pairs of boots.
And swap them?
No.
Yeah, one a bigger size or a half size bigger and swap them.
Yeah, right. Okay. Look at you little raging
Kicking
river
boots at
information.
goal.
Ben Cameron and Matt Clinch calling the action. Chad Wingard and Daniel Harford, your experts. Lauren Borden on the boundary. Dirkson's clearing kick for the Blues. Chopped off by Pryor. Essendon are up and about early. Looks into the pocket. Mackay still on his own. Lunging forward. Ben drops the mark. Gathers. Kicks into the pocket looking for Dursma. Dirkson gets back. Hand pass looking for Walsh against the boundary line. Jones offers the chase. Gets the hand pass away to Blake Acres, who cleverly pulls his kick. And Ainsworth marks at left half back. Essendon leading by 6 points. The opening goal through Mason Redmond. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport. Ainsworth's been called to play on. Ben Mackay doesn't charge at him initially. So Ainsworth darts back boundary side. Kicks up the wing. Akers wasn't the intended target with McGovern leading up but takes the mark. Hand pass away to Hayward. Back to McGovern. Chisels a kick up the wing. Clears Kemp. He tries to run back onto it. Bryan got there, the ruck. Needs support. Hand pass inward. Blackerson dragged down by Harry Mackay. And then Frankie Evans. Great chase. As he's locked up in the left forward pocket for the Blues. Archie Roberts got him as he looked threatening there, Frankie Evans.
Yeah, good tackle from Roberts.
Forward 50 stoppage for the Blues. Pitnet brings it down to Hewitt. To Hayward. Off towards Evans, who fires on goal and misses everything. Hurried his snap and sent it out of bounds on the full. Essendon by 6. Brought back in quickly there by Reid. Away to Farrow. Kid who had all 18 clubs jumpers growing up. Bit of a collector as he moves it back to Reid. Driving ball out towards the wing for Essendon. Pryor going up through his hands out the back. Dirkson gathers the footy. Handball errant. Picked up there by Sardis. Back feeds the handball away to Merritt. And Essendon can rebuild from their back flank.
So that's interesting. They had players down the line free, but chose to go lateral again and go back through the middle of the ground. So that's clearly a point that Dean Solomon was trying to make with these boys.
They went all the way to the back pocket before Sardis marks on the wing. Trying to transition to Ben Mackay. Over the back goes Dean, makes the spoil. Caddy goes to work at ground level. Gathers. Dean almost reels him in. Hand pass to Pryor. To a stationary Ben Mackay, who's tackled by Dirkson. And the umpire circles and will ball it up. So Essendon leading by 6 points. 1-1-7 to the Blues, one behind. We've played 13 minutes in the opening term. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport.
Bryan, beautiful tap. Sardis sockers it on, but turns it over. Blues down the worn wing. Hewitt dribbling it on. Byrne gathers it. Bundled out. So a throw in neutral territory on the wing.
I like this Merritt role. This is interesting. He's had 8 disposals, leads all comers at the moment. Just sitting off the back of everything, shooting forward, covering off defenders or opponents who are shooting forward from contests, but also the release player for the Bombers. This is good.
Bryan and Pitnet both miss it. Onto it Ainsworth. Kicks the Blues into the forward pocket. Harry Mackay goes up, doesn't mark. Reid roves there for Essendon, gives it to Langford. Kicks off the back flank, up towards the wing, and Durham marks. Dons by 6 points, the only goal in the game, going the way of Mason Redmond.
Durham around the boundary line to Pryor, who takes the mark. Centre wing on the Shane Warnstand side, can just chip a kick over the top to Sardis. He's all on his own. Runs 10 metres, draws an opponent, hand pass to Bryan, inboard to Sobey, tackled and brought down Roby, who is locked up at right half forward for the Bombers, and just the momentum lost there. Essendon by 6 points, 1-1-7 to Carlton, one behind. Durham and Merritt lead the way with 8 disposals, Ainsworth and Dirkson with 7 from the stoppage. A chance here for Farrow, trying to knock it down to Durham, gets a hand pass away to Merritt, sends it up towards half forward. Haynes trying to get back, Ben Mackay reaches up, brings it down at ground level. They go to work, ball bouncing clear, unable to gather it. Flynn Young, it ricochets off a few. Newman gave it back to Young, right past one, almost brought down by the second, just got it away to Newman, inboard to Ainsworth. Here go the Blues.
Gives it off towards Evans, who's tackled immediately. Ball jars free, Roby ends up with it. He's tackled, nowhere to go. The boyhood Don, ball upcoming. What are we seeing early on here, Half and Chad?
Oh, both clubs are trying, and when they're getting the handball chain, they're just not able to get through that last one. So sometimes it's one too many or too wide where they actually can't shape either angle. So when both clubs look best when they're actually chipping and chasing and picking the other team apart.
Blues trying to build it from the back. Haynes sweeping a handball away to Hayward. Floats a kick around the member's wing. There's a holding free kick, and it will go the way of the Blues.
That almost could have been 50 there.
Harry Mackay, high half forward, sets it up towards the pocket. Out the back of Reed it goes. Pryor comes across and accidentally on purpose knocks it out for a throw-in. Right forward pocket. Essendon by 6 points. Quarter hour mark. Uninspiring start to this game. 1-1-7 plays one behind.
I beg to differ. I think it's a really interesting start to the game with these two teams, considering where they are and the roles that they're asking new players to play. I think it's a bit fascinating at the moment, the chess game.
From the throw-in, Blackson one down the tap. Farrow trying to give it back to him. Couldn't link up. Sardis gets the hand pass away. Hammered in the back pocket. Setterfield's high kick. Caddy had a fly. Can't come down with a footy. Spills out. Jagger Smith reeled in by Perkins. Umpire says no prior opportunity, and a ball up at right half forward for the Blues.
It's a great match-up forward of the footy for the Bombers as well. Caddy and Harry Dean. What a match-up that's going to be for
So Setterfield's gone to Cripps, and Cripps goes, I'm doing the ruck. So Setterfield goes, right, I'll go up as well. Ball spills clear. Durham slipped over. Has to try and knock it clear. Sidus gains about 10 metres, but Blues are there. Flying over around the footy. Hand pass comes forward. Perkins tries to gather. Has Dursma if he can gather it cleanly. Could have been taken high. He was by Evans.
Can't do that, Frankie.
Free kick going the way of the Bombers on the wing.
So Dursma sweeps it out wide to the former Blues Setterfield. Kicks inside 50. Great kick. And on the end of it, up at a mark, is El Ashkar. 45 out, slightly left of centre. And he will go back and kick for goal.
It was a beautiful kick from Setterfield. They worked the ball really well from the contest back inboard before they got the free kick to who was it with the free kick across the chops? Dursma. And then we're able to just keep that lane going, keep the moving of the ball into the middle of the ground. Great vision by Setterfield.
Strong form in the VFL has earned him a recall. Hussein El Ashkar on the drop punt. It's left. So another behind for the Dons. 1-2-8 plays one behind. We played 17 minutes and change in the first term.
He's got a routine to sort out, that young fella.
Inside 50s 11-7 the way of the Bombers. So they've started with good intent. The Blues try and chain it out of defence. Haynes gets a hand pass wide to Flynn Young, who sends it up the wing. Byrne was crashed into illegally by Archie Roberts, and the free kick will come back to Taylor Byrne.
He slowed him up nicely.
Quickly chips it over the top to Frankie Evans. Has it. Still about 65 out from home. Pokes the kick into the pocket looking for Kemp. He gathers on the bounce. Corrals him. Inboard to Byrne. Juggles the mark.
Look how far away he is.
Came flashing forward. I'm not sure the kick was 15, but he's in the left forward pocket about 35 metres out.
He's literally 6 metres away from where he kicked it.
I'm not sure it was 7 metres.
It looked nice, so
the second bite gained in a few extra metres, though.
It looked great. Don't get me wrong. It looked fantastic. But it's gone 6 metres.
Cameron Ling was campaigning today on AFL Sunday that we should go back to 3 umpires. Try and help with the confusion about whether decisions are the umpire adjudicating or those in the middle of the ground. Taylor Byrne won't care about that. He'll just want to try and keep the Blues first. In the left forward pocket, he starts his approach. Not bad off the boot. Gives them something to build on. And the young bomber starts proceedings here at the MCG. His 4th goal of the season in his 8th game. And Essendon's lead is cut to a point. They're 1-2-8 to the Blues, 1-1-7. 19 minutes gone. The young blue, I should say. 1 point lead the way of the Bombers through 19 minutes.
Yeah, well done. Nice finish. And good second effort too to stay involved in the chain. That was what I most admired about Byrne's performance there, even though it only went 6 metres that kick. And this is a good wrestle at the moment, and this is a real challenge for both coaches to try and get the upper hand in this battle. Essendon have been really good, I reckon, from what they've shown the last couple of weeks. This has been quite a stoic start from them. I like, as I've mentioned before, the release player of merit behind half-back. Gets them running and dash. That creates opportunity. That creates space, and they've used that pretty well. And Carlton have countered a few times the ball on the way back through. Both teams could tighten up defensively, I reckon, but we'll see how that unfolds through the night.
Lackiston in the ruck, wins the tap down, but it ricochets out to Ainsworth. The Blues go forward again. Left foot kick inside 50. Langford takes the mark defensively for Essendon.
Zone defence going on from both teams in these scenarios.
Oh, Langford partially smothered, turns it over, Big Hewitt coughs it up. Sada starts away with it for Essendon, kicks back towards Sardell Hooley. Ricochets back to Sardis in the middle of the MCG. No room to work, and the ball up.
It's a bad option from Sardis, looking for that little short one up the corridor. Had defender right up his jumper. Was always going to come back to where he kicked the ball in the first place. Find another option.
Never goes short to a 50-50. I was always taught. Free kick from the ball up. It'll go the way of the Dons and Blackiston. Umpires Howarth, Flair, Doran, T.
Good kick.
Charge of this. The kick from Dersmer inside 50 and bursting out Alashka. Tumbling to the ground as he marks. Nearly the same spot he just missed from. We'll get a chance at a redo.
And the reason why he hooked it last time, I think he's right on the edge of his distance. So he didn't go around, which a lot of the younger players do now. He just tried to force it through. So he's taken a little bit longer run up, see if he can get enough purchase and obviously keep it on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, he's a mystery, Alashka.
Trots in, arcs out to the right this time, sets it on its way. It's exactly where the ball goes, towards the right-hand point post. Sardell Hooley Rose tries to get it on the boot. Trickles out, throwing alongside the right-hand behind post. Dons by a point. The only game they've led at quarter time, as Clinchy mentioned, they went on to win.
And the Blues are 6 wins and 6 losses in the opening quarter, despite being fast-starting team at the start of the season. Here's a chance. Hard against the boundary. Roby! Across the face and misses to the left-hand side. The Essendon fans are out of their chairs at the punt road end. Just drift to the left, and it's the Bombers who lead now by 2 points. 21 and a half minutes gone, opening quarter.
I was fortunate enough to be in the rooms for Sullivan Roby's jumper presentation because Rammer spoke, so I went down there with him as Hewitt brings the Blues back into play.
Rammer.
Free kick for Akers, and his dad said, look, it feels like only yesterday that he was kicking around, tied up pair of socks, pretending he was Zach Merritt. So Zach was pretty happy with that.
How good were those days, kicking the socks around the house? Through the doors. They were awesome.
Off to Wainsworth, who gives it to Harry Mackay, kicks the Blues inside 50, out the back. Archie Roberts there to mop up. Handball to Redmond. Don's on their last line. Roberts zigging, zagging. Dumps it on the boot. Kick goes towards defensive 50. Blackiston. Good mark. Essendon lead by a couple of points. 1-3 plays 1-1. I tell that story to point out that he's now playing, of course, with Zach Merritt at the Dons.
Blackiston up to Harry Jones. One of 4 inclusions this afternoon or tonight, and goes back to Zach Merritt. Switches all the way back to Roberts, who marks in the back pocket.
Sullivan Roby used to love Merritt.
Now Taylor Byrne is going to be penalised here for not standing on the mark, so a 50-metre penalty will take the Bombers from the back pocket up into the middle of the MCG. And Roberts looks to send it as long as he can because he's got Cox and Redmond both free at half forward. Redmond in the end takes the mark. Harry Mackay tries to hold him up. He breaks to the right-hand side. Delivers a kick inside 50, and here's the mark. Ben Mackay takes the mark pretty much directly in front. 35 metres out from goal.
And that wasn't an amazing kick. It was actually a bit high, but he was obviously the forward to be able to read that. Took about a half a step slower and just read it a lot better in the air. So it wasn't a great kick, and Essendon haven't kicked amazing besides that kick into early start of the game. But again, this is a much easier shot here, 30 out straight in front.
A chance for the Bombers second. Ben Mackay makes no mistake. And they restore an 8-point lead early here at the MCG. The Bombers up for the fight tonight. 2-3-15. They've come with energy and intent to the Blues 1-1-7. Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard, your experts. Sunday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
If I'm Josh Fraser, I'm a bit worried. Not just because I'm behind on the scoreboard, there's plenty of time to rectify that, but just in the way that they're defending Carlton, particularly transition. Essendon had 2 players sitting at half forward here for that big long switch kick from coming out of D50 or just at the top of the arc there, all by themselves. And they're just a little bit on their heels, I reckon, defensively. They're not quite as intense, not coming forward, trying to defend the space with enough aggression, and Essendon are exploiting that at the moment. So I'm a little bit annoyed, I reckon, if I'm Josh Fraser in the Carlton coach's box.
Yeah, they switched off probably 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
It's been very evident. That was off the 50-metre penalty as well.
Correct. Time to sort it out.
Lauren Borden between the benches.
You were just talking about the intent of Essendon. Zach Merritt, when he's on the bench, didn't sit down. He was just pacing and watching the game. So was Nick Cox, standing about half a metre from the boundary as well. So they're very engaged on the bench when the game's going on.
Essendon with the clearance up towards half forward. Now they're hunting as a pack. Umpire circles holding the ball. Free kick to Day Wicks.
That's hot.
That is hot.
Ollie Florent pinged. So Day Wicks with the man on the mark, 51 metres out. He can strike them, Day Wicks. I don't think he's half liking his chances here. No. He kicks into the man on the mark. Ricochet's out of play, throwing coming. He was trying to chip it towards the hot spot. Essendon by 8 points, 25 minutes into the first. Sunday Night Footy on ABC Sport. Umpire flings it in. Both rucks miss it. Bouncing ball. Walsh gathers. Handball knocked away by Durham. Essendon inside 50. Jagger Smith pinches it. Carlton rebounding off the back flank to Walsh. To Wakers. Back to Jagger Smith. And he's running past the interchange gates.
He takes a bounce and looks up to half forward. Trying to get it to Flynn Young off hands. Mitch McGovern gathers. Hand pass to Evans. Fires a hand pass forward to Walsh. They've done this well. Flynn Young looks up. Has a player inside 50. It's Arsenal on his own. And hemmed in against the boundary. He marks in the right forward pocket. Thought about giving it off. Ainsworth points to the sticks and says, no, take your shot.
Started with Jagger Smith at half-back. He took the grass. He didn't take the easy option. He took the grass. He made Essendon defend. He shifted their defence down the line. They're able to get the overlap on the back of it. Well done, young fella.
The Next Generation Academy product, the 19-year-old Jack Ison in the right forward pocket. We're going to cut the margin back to 2. He opens up the angle, curls it on his left, and curls it near side of the right goalpost through for a minor score. Essendon hold on to a 7-point lead. 26 minutes gone, opening term. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport. Earlier it was the Swans who broke St Kilda Hearts, winning by a point right at the death.
Reid with the kick in. Cox floating in from the side. He takes the mark. And at quarter time, for only the second time this year, Essendon lead. The other time, Essendon fans, you went on to win. It's a good sign. The goal kickers, Redmond and Ben Mackay. And then for Carlton, it was Byrne. So 2-3-15 plays 1-8 at the first break. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport.
Just that result from earlier. Sydney 15-13, 103, defeating St Kilda 15-12, 102. The Saints led for large portions of the afternoon. They kicked 6 goals to 3 in the opening term. Got out by 33 points in the second quarter. And Sydney slowly reeled them in. Nick Blakey had a shot at the 26-minute mark. Jack Silvani took the mark on the goal line. He thought, is that Sydney's best chance? No, it wasn't. Isaac Heaney got the hand pass out to Jai Sarong, who kicked what proved to be the winner with 14 seconds remaining on the clock. Heartbreak for the Saints. The Swans win another one, and that gap at the top of the ladder is just a game for Fremantle, clear of the Sydney Swans. Here at the MCG, a big crowd in attendance. It's the Bombers who lead by 7 points. It's a Sunday night footy on ABC Sport.
Meet the builder of dreams.
It's a great honour to be leading Tasmania's new football club.
Sam Pang's brand new office comedy, Ground Up.
Time to make a little history.
Ground Up starts tonight on ABC TV and ABC iView. This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Pryor unable to mark. Gets it back from Day Wicks and back feeds the handball Pryor. Out towards Redmond, who gets around one. Snaps on goal from distance and he's kicked it. The Red Dog with a dream start for Essendon and he loves it.
Quickly chips it over the top to Frankie Evans. Has it. Still about 65 out from home. Pokes the kick into the pocket looking for Kemp. He gathers on the bounce. Corrals him. Inboard to Byrne. Juggles the mark.
Look how far away he is.
Came flashing forward. I'm not sure the kick was 15, but he's in the left forward pocket about 35 metres out.
He's literally 6 metres away from where he kicked it.
Taylor Byrne won't care about that. He'll just want to try and kick the Blues first. In the left forward pocket, he starts his approach. Not bad off the boot. Gives them something to build on. Cox and Redmond both free at half forward. Redmond in the end takes the mark. Harry Mackay tries to hold him up. He breaks to the right-hand side. Delivers a kick inside 50, and here's the mark. Ben Mackay takes the mark pretty much directly in front. 35 metres out from goal. A chance for the Bombers second. Ben Mackay makes no mistake. And they restore an 8-point lead early here at the MCG. The Bombers up for the fight tonight.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Quarter time at the MCG. King's Birthday Eve clash between the Bombers and the Blues, and it's Essendon who lead by 7 points at quarter time. 2-3-15 to the Blues, 1-2-8. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Lauren Borden down on the boundary. The thoughts of our experts, Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard.
It's been interesting, and I've said it best in terms of a chess match, and I think Essendon have definitely come out firing. You think about their defence, they've stopped Carlton getting uncontested marks, they've kept them to 23 total marks, they're winning that by 11, and they're controlling the game. I mean, they're defending really well, they've got more inside 50s, 14-11, and they're also winning the tackling account. So their effort's there for Essendon, they're winning the clearances, they're looking strong, and for me, as we mentioned with Carlton, where they need a lift is when things aren't going their way, their handball chain hasn't gone through just yet. They got through that last one, went to Jack Ice, and then he marked that inside forward 50. Essendon's matching that with their press. For Carlton, they can't afford to switch off on defence. So, yes, their offense not working just yet, but don't lapse in your defence. They've switched off 3 times, and Essendon had 3 shots on goal.
Yep, I reckon you're right. I reckon that's the message from Josh Fraser. Don't worry about the attack at the moment. Let's worry about our defence. And if I'm Dean Solomon, I'm really pleased with that first quarter, because it would have been disaster for Carlton to come out here and kick 5 and take the game off them really, really quickly. They're in the game. They're in the hunt. They know that they've probably got the better of Carlton in their first term. You mentioned some of those numbers, +9, +11 contested possession, +8 uncontested marks. Sort of highlights Carlton defence. They allowed them 30 marks, Carlton, uncontested marks in that first quarter. So that says a fair bit about the way the game was played. There's not a heap of pressure through the middle of the ground. Both sides were able to just chip the ball through and try and find a way into their forward 50 with some level of efficiency. Both teams had 4 marks inside forward 50. But it looks better when Essendon do it at the moment, from my eye. Durham's been a big inclusion. He's at 11 in that first term. Merritt off half-back has 10. They're really the driving forces at the moment from an Essendon perspective. And I just think Carlton need to up their game. They're just up there. They've had 3 good weeks in a row. There's been a lot of talk about this new free Carlton. Well, they're a long way from that at the moment. They might be free of mind, but it's free of mind defensively. And that's one aspect of the game you can't bring in against any opposition, let alone an arch rival like Essendon, who'll be really up for this game.
The hero of last week, Paddy Cripps, has had 4 disposals. Will Setterfield has gone to him. Harry Dean, the Rising Star nominee from last week, he's had the job on Nate Caddy. He hasn't had more than 1 touch so far, and Harry Jones in his return, just 1 touch as well. So, as Chad touched on, the effort and intent, if you're an Essendon fan coming along tonight saying, we want to be in the fight, we want to be a chance to try and win our second game of the season, well, probably exceeded your expectations for, 28 minutes of footy.
And that's the thing, is 28 minutes of footy. And I watched them play a very good half against Fremantle in the second half. So in patches, Essendon looked great. The trouble with them is that consistency across the 4 quarters. So yes, this is 1 quarter, tick. Let's make sure that's a checkpoint that. Now let's focus on this next quarter, because that's what they haven't had the ability to do for 4 quarters so far this year.
Yep, agreed. We'll see how they go. I mean, that's the opportunity. What a great opportunity. MCG, Sunday night, arch rival, big crowd. This is your moment. Take it.
It certainly is. And the Blues have had the bragging rights. They've won 6 of the last 7 against the Bombers. They have won the last 3.
Yeah, I just saw a close-up of Paddy Cripps. A little goatee going on.
Oh.
Paddy Cripps. I don't think he had that last week, did he?
Are they back? Are they goatees?
Apparently so.
Been out for a while. It's a bold man to try to bring it back.
We're ready to go for the second quarter. Essendon leading by 7 points as we get play underway. Pitnet 1 down the tap against Bryan, who went tumbling over. Umpire saying Pitnet crossed the line. So free kick going Bryan's way, and the Bombers ought to get a chance to get the first clearance. To Setterfield, sends it inside 50. Caddy in from the side, can't take the mark. Haynes with a hand pass out to Hayward at half-back, and now to Nick Newman around the body. Kicks up toward Cripps. He takes the mark. Flying in front of Sardis. A 5th disposal for him. Releases the run of Haynes from half-back. Up to half-forward. Not a great kick for Kemp. And the intercepting mark taken by Zach Reid across half-back.
Good read from Zach. That was. He knew exactly what was happening before even Nick Haynes did, I think.
Moves it on to Setterfield. 55 games for Carlton between 2019 and 2022. Now in the red and black. Kicks up to a contest around the logo. Perkins can't mark. Florent goes and picks it up. Blues ball again. Off to his former Sydney Swans teammate Hayward.
Yes.
Off to Wilson, who kicks corridor. Good kick. Now it all opens up for the Blues. Through Flynn Young. Gets rid of it away towards Newman, who kicks up to half forward. And the mark taken by Kemp. A little stagnant now, the Blues, but he sends it inside 50. Looking for Frankie Evans. Setterfield spoils. Essendon ball back pocket. Off to Durham.
Yeah, it's the hand pass back to Zach Reid. Comes inboard to Merritt, who takes the mark. So possession number 11 for Zach Merritt. Oh, fascinating, this clash. He and Ben Ainsworth have both said, I'm going to have 40 and kick 5 this afternoon. Neither of us are going to go near each other. So Ainsworth...
Nathan Brown and I had that conversation one day on the wing at Docklands.
I think Ainsworth feels like he's got him on speed. Zach Merritt will think he's got him on game now. Intercepting mark taken by Haynes for the Blues on the wing. Kicks up to Akers, not 15. Cox puts the pressure on. Hand pass back to Dirksen. Little fumble. Nick Cox trying to knock it out. He has the footy stuck underneath him. And the umpire will ball it up. Essendon leading by 7 points. 2 minutes gone, second quarter. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport.
Hit net, palming it down, and Hewitt runs an arc to get around Sardis, dumps it on the right boot. Floater up towards the attacking arc, and Reed outpoints his opponent to mark.
Good job.
He was highly touted for a long time, couldn't get his body right. Now he's back playing, and that kick was dicey, but it finds its target in Farrow.
But it's bold. This
Lucky
thing.
at the slips catches there. He went to one of them. I don't think that's the one he was aiming for.
No, I reckon you're right too. But they're being a bit bold sometimes. This is good.
Farrow completes the switch off to Merritt. Right back pocket, punt road end of the ground. Merritt plays traffic cop, tells them where he wants them to go, and then kicks up to Blackiston. Broken up by McGovern. Blackiston and McGovern, they wrestle after it, beating them to it. Florent. Carlton with the football. He kicks back infield to Newman.
He can work it over the top to Jagger Smith on the bounce. Hand pass to Cripps in the middle of the MCG. Feeds a hand pass to Ainsworth. Merritt comes in, lays the bump. And the ball is wrapped up with Ainsworth and Setterfield over the top. In fact, it's Brian. And the umpire says he'll ball it up. So Zach Merritt with 12 disposals, 11 uncontested. Interesting to see if both coaches are happy to play this style of footy. Dersma with a clearing kick for the Bombers into the middle of the ground. Ben Mackay can't take the mark. Hand pass from Nick Newman, gets it back to Haynes. Middle of the Shane Warne stand wing, kicks out to Flynn Young, who takes the mark.
He's playing on an opponent, Merritt, but he's just playing as an attacker, basically. So he's got an opponent he's got to take care of at some stage. But remember that role Nick Dacos used to play at half-back? Plays there almost an extra mid, just sitting behind the ball a bit.
It is the extra mid. I mean, think about Connor Rosie that does it. Ben Jones used to do it back in the day. Jarman Impey does it for Hawthorn. It's a vital position that a lot of clubs are using now.
In the old days, it was a forward that was the extra mid. Now it's also
we used to do
half-back.
I used to do that sometimes.
Yeah, that's right.
Essendon by 7. Carlton in their kick mark game. As Young sends them back inside 50. Here's Harry, hands to it. Doesn't quite control the mark. Turns tackler quickly. And a high tackle from the overzealous Harry Mackay. Jacob Farrow, the boy from West Perth, gets up and kicks to the back pocket. Away to Langford. Oh, his kick is a shocker. Cold turnover. Haynes comes into mark for the Blues, 47 metres out. He wants to move it on quickly towards full forward. Redmond swirls it away. Tracking at McGovern, can't run it in. Now to play for a throw in. Dons by 7, 4.5 into the second term.
It's a good start by the Blues here in the second term. But the Bombers are holding up. They're quite connected defensively at the moment.
Carlton with 64 hand passes, so their style of game is clear. The Bombers are trying to kick it. Brian trying to take it to the ruck, couldn't do so. Harry Mackay with a flying shot on goal, and he misses to the left-hand side. So he has loomed dangerous, Big H. And it's the Bombers who lead by 6 points. 5 minutes gone, second quarter.
Only the second time this year the Dons have led at quarter time. The other instance against Melbourne in their only win. Good mark, Pryor.
Good mark.
On the long kick in from Langford. Son of an Essendon player, son of Michael, who played for Essendon in the early 90s. 81 games as Pryor kicks Essendon up to the wing, looking for Caddy. Forced to spoil, caught behind. Hewitt's there to rove for the Blues, and they take it back as he kicks out to Hayward. Still on the wing here. Carlton, a little 1-2 with Hayward and Haynes. And then he's tackled by Caddy. Came and got him holding the ball, and the Dons are away. Sardis takes the advantage. Kicks up towards half forward, looking for Ben Mackay. Dirksen going back, front on contact.
But it buys time. So it's a free kick, and everyone knows it. But it buys time for his teammates to do it. So it's really clever play. They were one out at the top of the arc there. No one else was around them.
So the mark set, 52 out. Essendon free kick here with Ben Mackay.
I think this is well beyond him, but he's in two minds. He's trying to veer to the right, around the player on the mark, just over the fingertips of Nate Caddy. And here's Harry Dean who takes the mark. What a role it is for the 19-year-old in the absence of Jacob Wiedering to play on the number one key forward for the Bombers in Nate Caddy. Sends it into the pocket where the mark is taken by Hayward. With that short haircut, works it up to Ainsworth. He marks it left half back. Walsh wanted the short kick, decided against that, comes inboard to Florent. Still inside the defensive 50 at the city end. They flare it out to Harry Dean, who sends it out to right half back. Akers in a bit more space, but he dropped the mark, has enough time to gather. Daywicks comes chasing after him. The kick up towards the wing, a one-on-one. Langford in front of McGovern, gathers the footy, tries to get a hand pass out to Nick Cox, who becomes the tackler on Akers. Wrestles him to the ground. Umpire says no opportunity to knock it clear, and we'll ball it up. Centre of the Shane Warne stand wing. The Bombers by 6 points. 7 minutes gone, second quarter on ABC Sport.
Put a loft. Brian slapping it down. Setterfield turns boundary side, floats his left foot kick, and here's Ben Mackay again. Giving them something here. His handball's errant. Right to the bootlaces of Durham, who's good enough to clean it up. Kicks inside 50. Daywicks back with courage. Can't mark. Ball spills out the side. Quick shot on goal. Is through. Kondo Giannis. He has got that dog in him. His first goal in AFL footy. 3-3-21. Plays 1-3-9. 7.5 minutes into their second term.
Well, it's a great finish. Really good finish. I mean, Mackay has been really important as that outlet player there, long down the line, the LDL player for Essendon all night. And was heavily involved in the outer wing. Of course, handball was disastrous, but really good contest. The ball came in. Conor Giannis was sitting out the back, sitting off centre, so to speak, as the crummer. Came in as the pack spilled. He'd lost Frankie Evans in transition, and then really clever kick. A little straight snap almost. Had to get under the hands of an opponent coming up and pass the guy closer to the goal. Really clever stuff. That's a good sign.
Well, we need to explain it to the people listening as well. Something the kids say when you got the dog in you, you're hungry, and a fighter is the only AFL player with DOG in their name in the history.
Nice.
36 last season, out of the middle of the ground. The kick from Roby up to full forward. Here's a chance. All the youngsters are getting involved. Elachka puts through back-to-back goals for the Bombers, and they have lit the match, and the Essendon fans have sparked into life. All of a sudden they're out 10 points. 4-3-27 to Carlton 1-3-9. His second goal in just his third match, and the youngsters are coming to the party on the big stage here in the King's Birthday Eve contest. 4-3-27 to Carlton 1-3-9. Daniel Hufford and Chad Wingard with you.
And that was a perfect crumb. You think about running at the start of the contest and running across the contest and timing it so perfectly. What a snap as well from 30 yards to have that within half a second. He was in the contest, forced it to ground, and just follows up with a quick snap. I mean, Essendon are now putting the contest in, and when they're going long quicker, they look just stronger. They're in the contest with 6v6, and what a finish.
You're getting some deeper entries. Carlton are a bit shallow at the moment with their entries.
Back in the middle, Pitnet trying to follow up. Wilson comes in to help out. Gets the Blues moving forward. Gathers it, but tackled immediately. Spills out to Roberts of Essendon. It's a handball back into the mark, and Durham feeds it out to Dersma.
Oh, go.
Forward handball to Bryan. It's all in front of Essendon. Kicks inside 50.
No.
Overshoots Caddy.
Big bloke should be able to do that.
And marked by Dean in the left back pocket, and the Blues work it out at D50 off to Florent, who moves it on to Wainsworth. 60 out from the defensive goal. Essendon by 18, 10 into the second.
Comes back inboard by foot to Walsh, gave it back to Ainsworth, waits his kick to Cripps at half forward, plays on immediately, he goes for goal, won't quite have the journey, getting back Langford, rushes it through, and the umpire says that's all okay, a minor score. Essendon by 17 points.
Kick in from Langford, away to Reid, who moves it up to Daywicks. Juggling the mark, turns it over.
Trying to do the right thing though, that's okay, you can wear that.
Looking to come infield on the 45, kicks it straight to Chera of Carlton, who goes back inside 50, looking for Byrne. Reid comes across, cuts it off. Great defensive effort for Essendon, slaps it out right at the elbow of the 50-metre line in the boundary. Essendon by 17, 10.5 travelled in the second.
Yeah, so that's frustrating to turn that ball over from Daywicks, but he's trying to do the right thing. It's a good sign.
Is Andy Lee in the Carlton coach's box?
He's certainly in A box.
Looks like it. Blues haven't had a tackle so far in this second quarter. It's a high offensive game. Nick Newman at half-back. There's a scrap going on off the play. You have a look at that, Benny, as the kick up towards the pocket. Kept the target. Spoiled away from him. Running onto it. The half pass comes out to El Hooley. He can link up with Dersma. Breaks away at half-back. Gave it back to El Hooley. Looks up to half-forward. Nate Caddy on a one-on-one with Dean. It clears Caddy. Dean off hands. Can't gather. Haynes gets it away to the young Blue. Dean kicks along the ground up to Nick Newman. Good composure. Got the hand pass away to Wilson. He looks up to Harry Mackay. 2-on-1. He reaches up. Can't take the mark. It spills to the back. Redmond supported Setterfield. Setterfield back to Zach Reid. Inboard to Merritt. Takes the mark across defensive 50 for the Bombers. They lead by 17 points.
Time to settle it down as he moves it on to Durham. Centre half back here for the Dons. Defending the punt road end in their second quarter. Floater from Durham. Nearly works out for Dersma.
Yeah,
Gets a free kick as well. He was bracketed by a couple of Blues and impeded as well. Forward handball to the runner, Sardis. Kicks into the pocket. Looking for Ben Mackay. A couple of Blues. Cowan and Haynes, they spoil it out. I went right for a pocket. Essendon by 17.
How many times have you seen an Essendon player sit underneath it?
Oh, way too many. Yeah, their entries have been poor.
Caddy's been, I suppose, on the other end of that too many times. He's starting to show some frustration now. You don't want to see that as a forward. He needs to switch back into just providing those options regardless, because he's been about 3 times as just sitting on the head or choosing the wrong option.
No, the entries have been poor. It's been holding them back. Absolutely. They could be 6 goals up here.
Harry Mackay one down the tap. Perkins tackled. Got enough time to get rid of it. Durham to Blackiston. Kick smothered. Great defence by Newman. It ricochets out to Wilson. He sends a piercing kick out towards halfback. Ison leads the foot race against Farrow. Farrow gathers, breaks the tackle. The young bomber wins the day. Kicks inside 50. Here's Durham.
That's the ball.
That's something to like if you're an Essendon fan. Farrow with a huge win against Ison. And then Durham streaming out from full forward.
Yeah, that's it right there. Even just the angle of that approach, rather than going narrow side to the boundary line to the leads, he brought it back into the corridor, and they've had, I reckon, 5 times I've counted when they've gone inside forward 50, they've gone narrow when they've had a guy sitting in the corridor. Now, that wasn't sitting in the corridor. You had to earn that, Sammy Durham. It was a beautiful kick, but that's the spot you want to get it to. Carlton are defending narrow.
Such a barometer for the Bombers. Returns after concussion for Dreamtime. Durham comes in and slams it through. 5 of the first 6 goals of the match going the way of the Bombers as they take command with 3 goals unanswered in this second quarter. They put the last 4 goals of the match. 5-3-33 the Bombers to Carlton 1-4-10. Huge crowd here at the MCG. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport with Chad Wingard and Daniel Harford.
And you hit the nail on the head. The last 3 entries where they've scored from, it's either gone deep, which we've spoken about, 1 from a centre clearances, 2 from turnovers, and they've gone offline. So they look so much more dangerous, and Carlton looks settled when you, like you said, they're kicking straight towards goal. We call it plumb bob line, directly towards goal. That's where Carlton look very strong. Both teams look very strong, mind you. Kicking offline just gives you options for the forward to react first. And you talk about Nate Caddy, he's been the one that's obviously everyone's watching at the moment. Needs to do a little bit of a shift in his game, and the kicks are going to help him with that.
You'll have to explain those handyman terms to Half. Doesn't really get the hands dirty, so to explain what you mean there, Chad, is Durham on a left-footed kick, dribbles it inside 50, overrunning at Perkins, allows in the Blues through Hayward. He gets it back as well from Walsh. Running off centre half-back, kicks into the middle of the ground, and Hewitt marks. Hewitt chips it over the top, and a turnover. Merritt, he marks for Essendon, and his kick is shocker for Blackiston.
Had to try and knock it on. Got in the path of a teammate, but Hayward comes charging in, and he lays the tackle on Perkins, who's just grabbing his shoulder. Lauren Borden on the boundary.
Just Xavier Dersmer actually on the Essendon bench, who's got a little issue with his right leg, so getting that restrapped at the moment.
Thanks, Loz. From the stoppage, Hewitt trying to wrestle it clear. Roby was able to get it out to Zach Merritt, who kicks up towards half forward. Tangle taking place. Ben Mackay can't take the mark, and Dirksen gathers for the Blues. Hand pass to Jagger Smith. Across half back, Nick Newman comes inboard, and Hayward takes the mark. Between wing and half forward on the members' side, risky inboard. Hewitt caught flat-footed, sport away from him. Daywicks gathers for the Bombers. Hand pass out to El Hooley. Changes his mind in the last moment. Had Caddy in the pocket. Wants to go more centrally. Not a great kick. And reaching up, Dirksen takes the mark, and Caddy wanted it. Didn't get it.
Dirksen kicks to the opposite pocket and finds Chera. Chera wants to take it towards the worn wing. Draws the man. Feeds the handball to Haynes. Lifts it over the top to Evans. Evans, a short kick away to Kemp. Blues slowly working it down the worn wing. Infield to Chera. Forward handball to the runner Walsh. He chips a 9-iron inside 50. Looking for Harry Mackay. Hands to it. Follows up at ground level. Going in Young. He's caught by Langford. Umpire says play on. Evans ends up with it. Swivels. Fires on goal. Punched through on the last line. Great defensive work from Merritt. Often criticised for a lack of that. He's on the last line with ice and fists it through. Essendon by 22. 16 minutes and 20 seconds into the second term.
Well, that's what you've got to try and do, I think, if you're Josh Fraser. You've got to try and drag Zach Merritt back to the last line and keep him out of the action as long as you can.
Merritt kicks in.
He won't let you do that, by the way, very easily. So he'll just get moving up and replacing new players. But that's what you've got to try and do in general play.
Merritt to Roberts and now to Pryor, who sends the Bombers up the wing. Caddy presents, can't take the mark. El Hooley front and centre, trying to get hand pass out, chopped off by Akers, can't gain any territory. Dean has a couple of goes at trying to knock it forward. Straight to Sardis, hand pass to Roby, feeds the hand pass boundary side. They work this away. Big ragdoll tackle there laid by Blake Akers. And eventually it's Florin who gathers, kicks the Blues into the middle of the ground. Flynn Young's driving ball inside 50. Ison on the bounce, can't gather. Still alive though, a 2-on-1. Pryor could have been tripped. Eventually the umpire spotted that. And a free kick going the way of the Bombers in the back pocket. They lead by 22 points.
We talked before about Essendon's entries. Carlton's have been no better.
Yeah, no, exactly right. Both teams are moving the ball pretty well, but their defence has been, talk about backs versus forwards, the backs are winning on both sides at the moment.
Essendon by 22. Pryor to Langford. Away to Reid, sends his kick up towards the wing, marking contest, Haynes, Cox and Sherrup out of play for a throw-in. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport. Lauren Borden between the benches. Xavier Dersman, just a bit of work on his ankle down there, Loz?
Yeah, he is. It's a right ankle issue, so he's done a little bit of a run-through down on the boundary line. He looks set to come on. He might be waiting a little moment longer, but he does look okay to go back on the field.
Thanks, Loz. Blackiston palming it down. Follows up his own ruck work. Back feeds the handball to Setterfield. His kick. A no-looker, and underneath it, Chera takes the basket catch mark for Carlton. Middle of the worn wing, Essendon by 22.
3 goals to 3 behinds the way of the Bombers in this second quarter. Jagger Smith marks it right half forward. Hand pass away to Hewitt. Kicks inside 50. Burn in from the side. Can't take the mark, but it will be a Blues free kick. Holding in the marking contest, and Harry Mackay is going to get the free kick.
That's just good positioning, owning the front, forcing the action by the defender. And I mean, Mackay's been in a lot of, I suppose, contests tonight and been pretty stiff not to get a few more free kicks. And he's lining up with a snap from about 35 out.
Langford had the arm across the body. The umpire spotted that. Harry Mackay opens up the angle, curls it through for his first of the night, and just Carlton's second. They look to make inroads in the second quarter. Their first goal coming at the 19-minute mark of the second quarter, since their first was at the 19 of the opening quarter. And the margin is back to 16 points Essendon's way. 5-3-33 to Carlton. 2-5-17. 3 goals to 1-3 in this second quarter. Chad Wingard and Daniel Harford, your experts.
They're going to need this game to go for weeks if they're only kicking goals on the 19-minute mark of quarters. That's going to be a problem for them. That was, look, even then, they got the free kick and Harry did a good job as the big key pillar forward of the footy. But there's not a lot of system to it. There's no flow to it. There's no real structure to it. It was just get it and give it a go. So now I'm a bit worried about the Blues tonight. I reckon the Bombers are right on top here despite that goal.
Sunday night footy on ABC Sport. Restart in the middle. Blackiston doing the ruck work for Essendon. Falls in his lap. He gets it out to Roby, who knocks it out to Setterfield. Kicks a low ball inside 50. Dean gathers. Handball back into the scrimmage. Taken by Essendon. Off to Jones. And then Alaska. He went whooshka and gold. Through the contest, he snaps it through. Essendon answer immediately. They lead by 22 points. 6-3-39 plays 2-5-17. 20 minutes into their second, Lauren Borden.
Just on what you were mentioning before, Ben, and Andy Lee being in their Carlton coach's box, it is him, the Australian comedian. Every week they have 2 coterie members who get to sit in the box. So Essendon and Carlton, they're very big clubs when it comes to coterie members and the say they have. But every week Carlton has a couple of coterie members that are able to sit in the box, and this week it's Andy Lee.
You won't hear me criticising Andy Lee. He joined us at lunch during the Test cricket coverage.
Oh, he's
very good and funny man.
Loves his footy.
How much do you reckon would get you into the coach's box half?
Wouldn't be cheap, I wouldn't think.
Wouldn't have thought so.
Not getting any change out of 10, I don't think.
I think Mick told a story
more
about
than that, surely.
Yeah.
10's a lot.
Not for Andy.
Wow.
The Bombers are flying at the moment. The Blues could do with a few more thoughts in the coach's box. As Bryant won down the tap and Sardis was taken when not in possession. Will get a free kick against Ainsworth.
Loving this centre bounce crew. We're getting a rebound here. I'm not sure why.
Right, okay.
Or a free kick to Carlton, perhaps.
Yeah, everyone had streamed inside the forward 50 for the Bombers, and it's going to come back and be a free kick.
To Ainsworth.
Well, I don't think anyone knows who it is.
To Pitnet.
Pitnet's now getting it.
Right.
And Brian stands there with his arms outstretched and says, what's going on here? Hitting it around the back to Hewitt. Drives the Blues inside 50. Kemp can't get a run at it. Blackerson brings it down. Hewitt front and centre. Out past to Akers. Fires on goal and he misses to the right-hand side. 21-point lead the Bombers' way. 1 goal 4 in this second quarter for the Blues. And the inside 50s, Essendon's way 11-9.
Umpire backing out was clattered into by Sullivan Roby.
But both players were stationary though.
Oh, yeah, but they do tell them not to set up behind the umpires.
But they were both there. So how can you pick one out?
Well, they only collided with Roby as Carlton go back inside 50. Here's Bird from the pocket. Hits the inside half of the goal post. That is the rare double poster. Ricocheted off the left post into the right post.
Spoken of in hushed
2 points for that.
Couldn't have done that if he tried. It was a good shot. Looked good for a lot of the way. Essendon by 20 points, 22 and a half minutes into the second term. I think that's what the free kick was for.
I don't disagree with that, but I just think it's a ridiculous free kick to give when both players are behind and one's got just advantage position and the umpire comes and backs out. That's ridiculous.
Gondayanis marks at half-back, kicked a goal in this second quarter. One of 4 goals in which the Bombers have managed to score all the way back to Pryor when no one's standing on the mark, so he can play on, but he's not choosing to. That was the Bronx cheers you could hear in the background. Gondayanis looks up the members' wing as he receives it back at half-back, drives a kick up towards Ben Mackay, pitting it in from the side, makes the spoil to support Dirksen and a boundary throw in. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport. The Bombers 6-3-39 to Carlton 2-7-19. The Bombers have only won 2 second quarters so far this season. We mentioned they'd won the 1 first quarter. That was when they went on to beat the Demons in gather round. From the throw in, worked down by Bryant. And Hewitt lays the tackle and slowly getting to his feet is Setterfield.
It's been Roby, Sada, Setterfield, the midfield for the Bombers the last little bit. Durham's in there now, but guys that are the new.
The umpire's gone down again, but it was a bit further after the ball up. Clipped the feet there of Cripps, and Carlton come away with the footy. Dirksen gives it off to Walsh. He gives it to Wilson, loops it to Cripps. Running through the middle, chips it short.
Rubbish option.
Kemp has it knocked away from him, tries to follow up. Now going in Sardis for the men in red and black. His handball back into the mark. Chera scraps after it. He's got nowhere to go, and a ball up again.
They've done it a couple of times, the Blues, charging through the middle of the ground, and they've gone to short 50-50s for players running away from goal.
Even if it hits, what's the benefit?
There's no benefit.
You've got to go long from those options. You gain 15 metres, he's running the other way.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Not even worth it.
Chad Wingard and Daniel Harford, your experts from the stoppage. Chera gathers for the Blues at half-back. Kicks up towards Harry Mackay, who was held by Blackerston.
As opposed to that.
And an easy call to make there. Engaged far too early, and Harry Mackay with a chance to put his second goal of the match. He's just slightly left of centre, 45 metres out from goal.
You put defenders under pressure, one out inside forward 50, quick ball inside.
Yeah.
That looks a lot more dangerous than another kick. Gives them chance for the defenders to get back.
Doesn't sound that hard, does it, that concept?
It's what the Hawks have done so well with Jack Gunston playing right to the goal line. Harry Mackay looking for his second, and to continue the fight back for the Blues. He steers it through. Essendon's lead cut to 14 as Carlton look to get going in this second quarter. Essendon 6-3-39 to the Blues 3-7-25. 25 minutes gone, second quarter. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport with Chad Wingard and Daniel Harford.
We've seen the Blues move to a more kick-mark game since Fraser came in. Is that as simple as them going, we want to kick it short and possess the ball, and then sometimes they're just finding it in the wrong moments they're trying to do it half?
Yeah, but that's stuff that we've seen through the middle of the ground, and that's under 12 stuff.
Yeah,
that's the stuff you're taught not to do in under 12. So these guys are much better than that, clearly, and they should know better. But I understand your point, that's been maybe rammed down their throats a bit in the last month. This is what we want to look like, this is what we want to do. But you've still got to manage the moment in front of you and the situation, the scenario in front of you, and they haven't done that very well tonight. Harry's kicked well, though. That was a nice finish.
Goes ahead of twin brother Ben.
They showed a shot of his mum, head in her hands, just not watching until it went through.
Carlton winning it out of the middle. There's a throw though on Cripps.
Talk about confidence.
Carlton fans have felt like that over the journey.
That's funny.
Free kick going the way of Setterfield. In the middle of the MCG. Essendon by 14. Kicks it deep to full forward. No mark. Bringing it down Pittonet. Now there's a rugby scrum. We'll get a ball up. 35 out from the attacking goal here for the Dons.
That should have been a marks pit net then. There's two Carlton players going up into contest and actually spoiling each other. There's no one else there.
Brian slaps it down, but Akers runs away with it for the Navy Blues and kicks up to the wing. It all opens up.
The Bombers have a couple of loose players across half-back, so he'll have to buy his time and wait for players to get in position. Kemp now called to play on, so kicks as long as he can, reads the loose as he tries to get back in front of Hayward. Going down was Langford, and the umpire says throw it in as it's spoiled out of play at right half forward for the Blues. The Bombers 6-3-39 to Carlton 3-7-25. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport. Quarter time, it was a 7-point lead the way of the Bombers. They got out by 24 points. A few momentary pauses as the boundary umpire comes in, ready to throw it back in now. Brian in front position, got it down against Pitnet. Sardis kicks up the wing. Jones out number 2 on 1. Spills down to the front. Jagger Smith for the Blues. Out wide towards Akers. Roberts did enough to spoil it out of play, and Akers lays the tackle as they collide over the boundary line, and now up against the fence. There's a bit of pushing and shoving going on. Hewitt comes across. The Essendon fans are leaning across more with their phones out in these days rather than a word or two to be said. Passion from both sides on display. Arch rivals here at the MCG. The Kings' birthday eve clash. The Bombers by 14.
Bit of a wrestle between the rucks, and the free kick will go the way of Pitnet. Just forward of the worn wing, sets it up to full forward marking contest. Langford punches at a good 30 metres, but Hewitt gathers. Handball towards Wilson. Centre half forward here for the Blues. McGovern goes in. Hewitt extracts it. Off to Jagger Smith. Overkicks it. Spoiled away by Reid. Bouncing ball. Loose footy. Ball to be won. Coming in Jagger Smith. Stripped of it. Kemp picks it up. Gets the handball out. Kick from Ainsworth. Smothered. Ricochets away towards Cripps. Tries to break the tackle. Gets the handball out. Allows in the Dons. Brian tackled to ground. And a ball up. 30 out from the Blues attacking goal. A minute to play first half. Essendon by 14.
Well done from Brian. And that big tackle on Cripps, not easy to stop in those scenarios where he swivels his hips.
Setterfield alongside Cripps for this stoppage. Brian wins down the tap. Hewitt got it away to Hayward, to Akers. Changed his mind at the last moment. Roberts pressures him enough. Sardis takes it back for the Bombers. Hand pass to Pryor, to half back. Hand pass to Dersma. Then a chiseling kick from Roberts up to half back to the wing. And Caddy takes the mark. And they might feel like they've done enough in this first half. 6 goals to 3-7 as they work it around the wing. And the mark is taken by Farrow. Farrow in no real hurry to move it. Now eventually decides to send it long up to one-on-ones. Caddy looks to present. Haynes doesn't fly. It got to the back where Haynes knocks it down to Florent. Gets a hand pass inboard to Wilson and now to Pitnet. Through the middle of the ground for Hewitt. Pulls his kick at the last moment. And Ison marks across half back. Jack Ison chips it to left half back where Frankie Evans marks, and that might just about do us. Chera takes the mark at left half back. And the Bombers fans will stand and applaud. Their side leads by 14 points at half-time. 6-3-39 to the Blues, 3-7-25. In that second quarter, Essendon booted 4 goals straight to the Blues, 2 goals, 5, and got out by 24 points at one stage before the Blues finished with 2 of the last 3 goals of the half. The goal kickers so far in the match, a couple for Harry Mackay for the Blues. The individuals to Taylor Byrne for Carlton. That's their goal kickers. 3 so far for the match. I was looking for a few extra. 2 to Elashka. Individuals to Ben Mackay, Mason Redmond, Sam Durham, and also Kondianis, the goal kickers for the Bombers. A 14-point lead Essendon's way at half-time. Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard with their thoughts to the main break.
Well, the scoreboard reflects the game at the moment as far as I'm concerned, Chad. The Bombers have been the better team. They're certainly not a finished product, neither team are, with their ball use, particularly in the front half and kicking to their forwards. They've got some work to do there to create some better opportunities, but they've been the more intense team. I think they've worked their ground really well. They've made the ground really big in attack, and they've defended better than the Blues have, and we quite rightly get a 14-point margin at half-time.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's something back at their stoppage work, actually, especially this quarter. But for the game, 19 hit outs to 8, so they're winning that by 9. total clearances there up by 9 as well, 24-15, and the centre clearances, which is the most important one, I believe, is 8-3. So they're up 5 there. So they're getting the ball inside their forward 50, and we saw 2 goals on the back of that, where they're getting deeper entries. They're obviously getting their ground level support there, and they're hitting the scoreboard. I mean, more efficient. I mean, 4 goals, 2 goals, 5 that quarter. So Carlton did lift. They did lift. They started that quarter. They had pinned inside their forward 50, but just couldn't get the goal or the reward for effort. And credit to Essendon. They're defending well. They've defended really well, putting Carlton on really difficult shots. I mean, besides McKay's shot from about 40, a lot of them have been quick shots, further out from 40, 45 or beyond. So interesting game so far. Not the game that I thought would happen with, especially Essendon winning that clearance battle, and that's pretty what's been happening for Carlton in the last 3 weeks.
Well, in that second quarter, 6-1 out of the centre for Essendon. 6-1. And they got goals from it as well. So, yeah, that's certainly been an area of strength for them, and an area that normally is a pretty good strength for the Blues, but they're certainly being outplayed at that at the moment. So, work to do for them. I reckon Dean Solomon, they would be wrapped with what he's seen so far, and the effort and the intent to play the system and the style that he wants. It's not perfect. They've made some Blues, but they're making Blues doing the right thing, and you can live with that as a coach.
The Bombers led by 15 points against GWS back in round 10, but this is the best they've looked in some time. 6-3-39 to Carlton 3-7-25. The earlier match, it was Sydney who prevailed by a point over St Kilda, 15-13, 103. The Saints 15-12, 102. St Kilda led for large portions of the afternoon. They got out by 33 points in the second quarter before the Swans came flying home. In the end, it was Sarong who kicked the match winner with a hand pass from Isaac Heaney, and they were able to break Saints' hearts with 14 seconds remaining on the clock. On the SMS, 0437 774 774. No name here. I reckon Essendon have actually handballed about 20% of their registered handballs. Throw literally everywhere where there's pressure.
Oh, don't start me on that.
Questions coming through as to why it took so long for Ben Mackay to be thrown forward. That comes from Calvin in Watsonia. A few thoughts thinking that Nick Haynes is not having a great game.
No, he's having some challenges.
Robin Greensborough saying that Blake Acres has missed his teammates on a few occasions.
Correct.
And Martin Bendigo saying that the Bombers' excitement is contagious. So add your thoughts to ours, 0437 774 774. It's the Bombers who lead by 14 points here at the MCG. Let's bring you the latest from the ABC newsroom.
ABC News with David Rowlands. The key Strait of Hormuz remains effectively blocked off as the US-Israeli war on Iran enters its 100th day. Larry Buttrose reports.
Iran has been restricting traffic in it since the joint US-Israeli strikes that began on February 28th. The US later imposed a naval blockade on Iranian ports and ships. Traffic in the strait, usually one of the world's busiest waterways, has since slowed to a fraction of pre-war levels, and not one ship made the transit yesterday. A fragile ceasefire between the US and Iran has been in place since April amid deadlocked peace talks, but the truce is under severe strain following a recent exchange of military strikes, the latest being the US saying it shot down 2 Iranian drones targeting commercial shipping in the strait.
Israeli police and paramedics say at least one Israeli man has been killed in a shooting attack in the occupied West Bank. Police say they killed at least one attacker and are carrying out searches for additional assailants. Residents in the area have been instructed to stay at home. It comes amid reports the occupied West Bank and nearby Israeli towns have witnessed several simultaneous shooting incidents today. One Nation leader Pauline Hanson has reaffirmed her support for accused war criminal Ben Roberts-Smith. Speaking at an event in support of Roberts-Smith, Hanson said she's not going to judge the 47-year-old, adding that the crimes he's accused of happened a long time ago. The former SAS corporal faces 5 counts of the war crime of murder in Afghanistan, allegations he categorically denies. Hanson says the former soldier's bravery should not be forgotten.
To me, Ben is a war hero, and he was awarded the Victoria Cross for his bravery. He's a man I've met a few times, a man that I respect and I admire. We can never, ever take that away from Ben. We cannot take away his bravery.
Investigations into the death of a man who died while being arrested north of Adelaide earlier today are continuing. The man who was allegedly damaging property with a pole in the suburb of Clare shortly after midday and then threatened police when they arrived. Officers tried to disarm the 44-year-old and then tasered him. He then became unresponsive during the arrest and died at the scene. Assistant Commissioner David O'Donovan says that investigators are still working through the details.
It is very early in the investigation, and because of the seriousness of what has occurred here, and certainly South Australia Police are taking this incident very serious, which is evidenced, I think, by the response of Major Crime and Ethical and Professional Standards Branch. There is a lot of detail that is yet to be clear and communicated.
More UN peacekeepers and police are being deployed amid attacks on health facilities in the eastern region of the Democratic Republic of Congo as the latest Ebola outbreak continues there. The move in the region, where a number of insurgent groups are also active, comes following threats against health workers and distrust and misinformation about Ebola. Alongside the heightened security, the government and aid groups are running outreach campaigns to counter false information and build trust in communities where cultural beliefs have shaped views on illness and death. The World Health Organization says nearly 500 cases of Ebola have been confirmed, including 82 deaths in the outbreak in the Central African region. A Tasmanian family is keeping the artisan craft of barrel making alive. A family-owned cooperage in the state's northern Midlands handles up to 800 barrels a day for the local whisky industry. Much of the work is done by hand, cutting the curved barrel staves, shaping them inside working hoops and charring the timber to the client's specifications. Mel Meyer is the only qualified female cooper in Tasmania and part of the family operation. She says it wasn't a path she expected to go down, but that it's been a great opportunity.
I really enjoy the toasting the most, over the fire, getting the different smells and just learning the different scents that different types of spirits give off.
To sport, and Sydney has fought back to notch a memorable victory in the AFL, downing St Kilda by just 2 points at the SCG. Jai Sarong kicked the game's winning goal with 16 seconds remaining after St Kilda's Liam Ryan had taken a spectacular mark and kicked his 5th goal of the game to give his side an 11-point lead midway through the final term. Sydney claimed a 15-14, 104-15-12, 102 victory after trailing by 33 points during the second quarter. They remain in second spot on the AFL ladder behind Fremantle. ABC News.
Adventure awaits little ears with free audiobooks.
Most intriguing.
Like the 13-story Treehouse.
How do you turn this thing off?
And The Wind in the Willows.
The best stories in the world.
Find free audiobooks for little ears on the ABC Listen app.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Right to the bootlaces of Durham, who's good enough to clean it up. Kicks inside 50. Day Wicks back with courage. Can't mark. Ball spills out the side. Quick shot on goal. Is through. Kondo Giannis. He has got that dog in him. His first goal in AFL footy.
Out of the middle of the ground. The kick from Roby up to full forward. Here's a chance. All the youngsters are getting involved. Elachka puts through back-to-back goals for the Bombers. Ison leads the foot race against Farrow. Farrow gathers, breaks the tackle. The young Bomber wins the day. Kicks inside 50. Here's Durham.
That's the ball.
That's something to like if you're an Essendon fan. Such a barometer for the Bombers. Returns after concussion. For dream time, Durham comes in and slams it through. 5 of the first 6 goals of the match going the way of the Bombers. Jagger Smith marks it right half forward. Hand pass away to Hewitt. Kicks inside 50. Burning from the side. Can't take the mark, but it will be a Blues free kick. Holding in the marking contest, and Harry Mackay is going to get the free kick. Langford had the arm across the body. The umpire spotted that. Harry Mackay opens up the angle. Curls it through for his first of the night. And just Carlton's second.
Restart in the middle. Blackiston doing the ruck work for Essendon. Ball's in his lap. He gets it out to Roby, who knocks it out to Setterfield. Kicks a low ball inside 50. Dean gathers. Handball back into the scrimmage. Taken by Essendon. Off to Jones. And then Elashka. He went whooshka and gold. Through the contest, he snaps it through.
From the stoppage, Chera gathers for the Blues at half-back. Kicks up towards Harry Mackay, who was held by Blackiston.
One out inside forward 50. Quick ball inside.
Yeah.
That looks a lot more dangerous than another kick.
Harry Mackay looking for his second. And to continue the fight back for the Blues, he steers it through.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Half-time at the MCG, it's the Bombers who lead by 14 points over Carlton, 6-3-39 to the Blues, 3-7-25. Just the third time this season that the Bombers have led at half-time. Macklich and Ben Cameron calling the action. Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard are your experts, with Lauren Borden down on the boundary. Earlier, Sydney with 2-point winners over St Kilda. And still to come tomorrow, the King's birthday clash between the Demons and the Magpies. Coverage on ABC Sport from 2 p.m. tomorrow with Ben Cameron and Corbin Middlemass. Luke Ball and Bob Murphy will be part of the call team. And we have 2 debutants who will make their stage. Mitch Padashki for the Magpies and Luca Kentfield for the Demons. With the surprising news that Steele Sidebottom has been managed. Will Parker and Ned Long came out of the side. Harry Perryman makes his return and Jack Bullock comes in for the Magpies, while Jake Lever and Tom McDonald also come in for the Demons for Jefferson, Moniz Wakefield and Bailey Laurie. So coverage tomorrow from 2 p.m. of the King's birthday clash and all the build-up to Fight MND. The sliders will go down. You'll hear it all, of course, on ABC Sport. You can, as always, join us throughout the afternoon and the evening, 0437 774 774. It was the Bombers who led by 7 points at quarter time. They lead by 14 at half time. Des in Ascot Vale says, "Hi guys, usually love watching Nate Caddy, but he's coming across as a little bit sooky tonight. It's all about the team, Nate, not you." Guess it's a frustrating night when you're in the forward 50. You're not getting many opportunities, Chad.
And I did mention that in the second quarter. He did look a little bit frustrated, and it's because and he does have reason. I mean, he has had about 4 or 5 balls where he's out clearly, and it's been put on his head. And Harry Dean's obviously been able to get the mark off him. So it's frustrating as a forward when you do all the work, you get out, and obviously your opponent gets it from a bad kick. So he does need a reset, though. It's not an excuse, because that is the game of footy, and he's a young player, but he's always had a lot go right this year for him. So it's a bit of a struggle for him early on.
13 inside 50s, 1 mark inside 50 for the Bombers. So that sort of paints a picture about how the ball's coming in for him. He's been on a couple of times, it's gone over his head. But it's a fair point. It's a fair point. And if you're Dean Solomon or the forwards coach, so yeah, not your night at the moment, but if you give up, start sooking, it will never be your night. Keep working, keep grinding through, get the right spots, and we'll get it to you eventually.
Some lopsided games in the NRL this afternoon. The Panthers thumped the West Tigers 68 points to 0. It was the Sharks who were too strong for the Dragons, 34-12. And tomorrow, the King's birthday clash. The Bulldogs take on the Eels. Coverage, of course, available on ABC Sport. Just look for the NRL button if you want to follow all the action for the NRL season. The other news was a 1-1 draw between the Socceroos and Mexico. I'm not sure if people got up early this morning, but in the lead up to the World Cup.
Just saw it before the highlights.
How's your sentiment around the national side as we head into a World Cup half?
I'm getting excited because I love the World Cup. It's a great event, and we've got a team represented, so I'll be supporting them. I don't think we'll go too far, but I'll be supporting them.
I always get on board for the World Cup. So
I was waiting.
Why do you hate the World Cup or the Socceroos?
I don't. Liverpool's the team closest to my heart.
Yeah, but you're an Australian. And Australia are playing in a World Cup.
That's what I said.
Yeah, you don't sound convincing.
Always. I was up at 2 a.m. or whatever it was in Perth when Timmy Cahill hit that volley against the Netherlands.
I saw that the other day again.
So did I. I just took me right back to the living room and jumping around at 2 a.m. trying not to wake everyone up.
Of course, the French Open final last night in the women's, it was Mira Andreeva who claimed her first title. The men's singles action, Alexander Zverev with a chance to try and claim a Grand Slam title, taking on Caboli of Italy. So Flavio Caboli there.
He wins that, doesn't he?
You'd think so. I mean, it would be one nightmare if he loses it, given this is his best chance. So
he does wobble a lot, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's been known to wobble, yeah.
So I remember that when they played the 1-point slam, I think Clint Stanaway said to him, "Do you get nervous?" And he sort of laughed and he said, "Have you seen me playing Grand Slam finals?" He said, "Yeah, I get nervous."
And, of course, the Women's Cricket World Cup is on the horizon as well. We will have coverage on ABC Sport. Just look for the white ABC Cricket button.
And the crown jewel in the F1 calendar tonight, Clinchy.
Monaco.
11 p.m, Monaco. Around the famed streets of Monaco.
Although
it's a little small for the
beautiful,
Monaco, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a beautiful, obviously, spectacle, but it's a boring race more often than not.
Can't pass.
Can't pass anyone.
Yeah, so there's one in qualifying.
So Antonelli once more is
there.
Oh, great news.
She's they're dating Lewis Hamilton, so she's been there supporting Lewis.
So Verstappen in
second. Go to Bahrain?
Hamilton in
What else she got?
Does it only go to Monaco? It goes to the good ones.
Yeah, but I'd probably, yeah. Everyone goes to Monaco, don't they?
Oscar Piastri will start from 7th on the grid. Of course, abc.net.au/news/sport has you covered, and our ABC Sports social team, whether you're on X, Facebook or Instagram, we've got Damo Peck at the back of the box tonight, so you can follow all that. It's great to bring you some of the post-match reactions, and our socials team do a great job of bringing it to you. The emotional reaction of Jordan Sweet as Port Adelaide got the victory over West Coast last night, and the amount of stoppages they had in that final quarter, and the Power, of course, had no more rotations left, so he had to soldier on in that last quarter. The players have made their way back onto the MCG. It's the Bombers who lead by 14 points. You touched on the stoppage and clearance game, Chad, which surprisingly the Bombers have led so far tonight. So that's always been a strength of the Blues. So I'm sure Josh Fraser will be looking for someone other than the captain to try and help lighten the load.
Yeah, 100%. But they're down across the board. You think about contested possessions, a lot of things that they're doing is clearances as well. Paddy Cripps has no clearances, so obviously they're doing a great job in nullifying him. Obviously they've chucked him in a ruck around the ground a couple of times just to get him around the ball. He's getting a lot of the ball around that forward half. He's had obviously a shot on goal from about 50, which he hit short, and another one which he just turned over, which is a 50-50 in the corridor. So expect him to lift. It's not very often you can keep the man down for a full 4 quarters, but he does need to lift, and an area that they really need him is getting hands on the ball around stoppages. But it doesn't help that the hit-outs, again, they're losing that as well. Pedos, obviously, and Carlton are half the amount of hit-outs of Essendon, so that's not going to help his chances of getting those clearances.
Wouldn't have been too many games of footy where Paddy Cripps is clearanceless at a half.
Yeah.
Particularly Setterfield, his opponents, had 18 disposals, 5 clearances. He's trying to lock him down. Cripps has only had 10 disposals and 0 clearances, so he's doing a bloody good job, Setterfield. He might feature in Chad's votes later on.
He might. That's a nice hand pass at half-time. That's as early as we've seen them. I'll just clear over my little stumble. So the Socceroos had a 1-1 draw with Switzerland. It was the Matildas who went down 1-0 to Mexico. But
we played Mexico last week, the Socceroos.
They did.
So,
yep. And the World Cup is on the horizon.
Next Sunday, 2 p.m, we take on Turkey.
Is that right?
Forward to that.
We'll be on air, I think.
Prime time. Are they sort of postponing the game for our coverage?
I think Ned Hall's going to give us some updates throughout the footy coverage, so we'll have it all covered for you on ABC Sport. What happens in the second half? Can the Bombers continue in the same way?
I reckon the Bombers can. I think that level's been pretty good. I think that's a really nice standard for them. They would like to clean up a little bit of their execution. And I'm sure Dan Solomon would have talked about that at half time. But they're locking out Carlton. They're trying to force them wide if they can. And they're defending better than Carlton. So I think the standard they've set is really good. If they can maintain that, they're absolutely in this game. I think there's more growth in Carlton in terms of this game and what they've put out there at the moment. So the growth is for them. They can make this a real tight tussle if they just get back to the way that they've played in the last 3 weeks. And they've been really strong at turnover and defence and the contest and clearance as well, which is just the hallmark of Michael Voss's game. So they've added some layers. We haven't seen it tonight.
We're seeing shots on the big screen of Essendon fans dancing in the aisles, while not when their side leads by 14 points, chasing a second win for the season. Durham with 21 disposals, Setterfield with 18, Merritt with 16 and Sardis with 15, while for the Blues, 15 to George Hewitt, 14 to Ainsworth, Akers with 14 and Newman as well. The clearances the way of the Bombers, 23 to 16. Contested marks the way of the Bombers, 6 to 1. And the inside 50s the way of the Bombers, 27 to 24. Second half about to get underway. Here's Ben Cameron.
Tapped down by Bryan, but it ends up with Pitnet. Gets the handball away, and then Cripps just sockers it off the deck. Takes an awkward tumble up towards half forward for Carlton. In they go. Redman over the top of the footy. Byrne tackles him. And a ball up, centre half forward.
Cripps
Sunday night footy on ABC Sport. Is it going down as a clearance?
Yep.
He's on the board. Clearance machine that he usually is. Trying to fight through with the footy there is Roby, but nowhere to go. Up it goes again. Pitnet palming it down, and we'll get another ball up. Essendon by 14 points. Benchy's mid-scon.
Can happen.
It's made a bit of a meal of it up here.
About a fall.
The jam and the cream's gone everywhere as Walsh takes it from the contest and kicks towards full forward, with the mark taken by Reid.
He's excellent tonight, Reid.
And marks at fullback. Essendon, look out. Kicks it away towards Blackiston. Plays on. Caught by Byrne, holding the ball. That was a faux pas from Blackiston. And Byrne will go back and kick for goal.
Taylor Burns worked hard tonight. I reckon he kicked the goal early, the first goal for the Blues. But he's worked hard up and down the ground. He's been a really solid contributor. Going through his numbers, he's not setting the world on fire. He's only had 3 disposals, but I reckon he's worked his backside off as a conduit. And certainly defensively, he's been one of the better players for the Blues tonight.
And that kick after the siren against Collingwood. He'd left late in that set shot, and the ball went left. Veers out to the left here again. The drop punt is hooking right and missing. Minor score for Byrne. Essendon by 13 points. Played 2 minutes in this second half. Clinchie's got rid of the scone and he's ready to roll.
Do you go the jam on the bottom of the cream, or the cream and then the jam? How do you play
that? The jam and then the cream on top, and then Shad and I waited 15 minutes and I spilt it because I tried to have my first bite. It's a setback, that's for sure. Probably should have just walked past it if we're being honest. Roby has it at half-back for the Bombers. Sends it out wide. Dersma takes the mark. So a 13-point lead the way of the Bombers. Around the boundary line, Perkins marks in front of the Essendon bench. Can they continue to show this sort of discipline? Perkins veers out, looks up towards half-forward. Mackay puts a block on. That's Ben. Caddy comes leading out. Can't take the mark. Cannon's into Dersma. Pitnet just hacks a kick forward. Off hands. It's gathered by Pryor. Was tackled by Walsh. Taken high.
Yep.
Essendon will get it here between wing and half forward. The Blues have tried to kick it clear, so it'll take a moment or so to come back.
As the ball was coming in, Carlton's players behind the ball defending were much closer to their opponents. They zoned a lot in that first half. Much closer so far this quarter.
Pryor with his left boot kicks into the forward pocket. Haynes comes across, drops the mark. Ball hits the deck. Essendon are there. Alashka tackled to ground by Florent. And we'll get a ball up left forward pocket. Dons by 13. Led by 14 at the half. Put aloft. Pitnet slaps it down. Perkins onto it. Tackled by Evans. Taken down. We'll do it again just beyond the attacking arc.
Gee, I like the look of Sullivan Roby.
Yep.
He's an athletic type, competitive, wants to be amongst it.
Pick 9 in 2025. Here he is once more. Tackled by Cripps. City hand passes straight over the boundary line. Cripps thought so. The umpire says throw it in. Paddy Cripps arguing that he thought it was a throw.
Just give him the boundary umpire. Let's go. You're not going to review it.
And he's saying it's a last touch free kick. It's one way or another. It should be my footy. And it's that sort of night for the Carlton captain. Throw it in, he says.
Why is there a conversation there?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
The decision's made. Play on.
Because it's Paddy Cripps, I reckon.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say as well. From the throw in, Pitnet missed it. It spills to the back. Ainsworth left it behind. Can't take it. Brian knocks it out for the Bombers. Pryor gets a hand pass away to Perkins on the move. Hand pass back to Pryor into the middle of the MCG. Looks laterally out to left half forward. Good vision. Spots centre field. Looks up inside 50. Waits the kick to the leader. Caddy can't take the mark. Dean kept his footing. He runs onto it and then ricochets into Pitnet. Hand pass comes out to Cripps. And now to Frankie Evans. He kicks up to a one-on-one. Kemp in a wrestle. It spills past he and Reid gets back onto it. Wins the battle. Hand pass to Merritt and the Bombers clear.
Merritt looks up for Pryor. Reaching out. Can't take the mark. Got a chopping of the arms. Free kick. Oh, it's swatted away by Newman as well. Free kick going to Pryor. Dons by 13 points. 5 minutes into this third term. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport.
Set up to swing it around here.
Yeah. Looking for that big V switch. Goes back to Langford. Defensive point of the square. Moves it out towards Condo Giannis, or Redmond rather, who chips it up to Setterfield. Setterfield flares it out wide. Up towards half forward now. El Hooley gets rid of it away to Roberts, who will kick long on goal. Caddy's down there launching. Through for a minor score. And the switch worked. Just a minor score for Essendon though. They lead by 14 points. 5.5 played third term.
That's Harry Dean again. Jeez, he's been impressive.
Hasn't he?
Yeah, he's good, isn't he?
He's kept Nat Cady to 2 disposals so far.
Newman just got the kick over the top to Hewitt and off the run of Sam Walsh at halfback. Dodging and weaving. Sends it up to Mitch McGovern. He marks on his chest between wing and half forward on the members' side. Essendon leading by 14 points. He decides to turn backwards and works it by foot to Newman. Comes inboard to Florent.
Haynes, get him.
Kick mark game. Kick over the head of Wilson. Chance for the Bombers on the counter-attack. Day Wicks takes it. Needs support. Gets a hand pass back. Roby feeds the hand pass away to Merritt. He tumbles the kick to half forward. They've got the numbers here. Duursma tries to bring it down. Ben Mackay comes racing after it. Newman lays the tackle, then knocks it on. Charging onto it, Farrow. Tackled and brought down by Evans. Just got a hand pass away at the last moment. Hand pass comes out to Perkins. Into the middle of the ground for Daywicks. Back to Merritt, the loose across half-back. Now a chance for Kondo Giannis, who tries to get a hand pass to Perkins. Dodging and weaving. Roberts kicks laterally and works it out to Setterfield with a bit more space for the Bombers.
He can move it on to Redmond. Kick the first goal of the game, Redmond. Essendon holding on to that 14-point lead. Same as it was at the half. He pokes it to Roby. Sully Roby. Long kick towards Caddy. In from the side comes Ben Mackay. Spills out to the pocket. El Hooley from the pocket. Bending it across the goal face and out of bounds on the full. From the right pocket to the left pocket. And it will be a Carlton ball going the way of Newman. Essendon by 14 points, 7 minutes into the third term.
Plus 15 contested possession of the Bombers. Going to be a worrying stat too for Josh Fraser. They're getting out of trouble really well.
Behind a piece so far in this third quarter. 34 disposals to 20 the way of the Bombers as the Blues try and find a way out of defence. Ainsworth marks in the back pocket. Haven't got it from Wilson. Gives it back to him. Pulls his kick looking for Hewitt. Had to wait underneath it as Farrow tried to spoil. Gets a hand pass away that releases Florin. A bounce through the middle of the ground. Ran his full measure. Daywicks almost dragged him down. Inside 50. Harry Mackay takes the mark.
So that's exactly the same thing that Jagger Smith did in the first quarter when he decided to keep running and shift the defence and make the defenders come to him and someone come up or try and chase him down. But all that time, the players fall to the ball, getting back to goal, making their defenders turn their back on the game. And then you get a kick like that, which is still obstructed a little bit, but in dangerous space, and defenders have got no chance. Good stuff. That's what you want to do.
Blackerson thought he was going to get support, but in the end, Harry Mackay led up uncontested. He's shooting for his third. Kicks into the man on the mark. Did he know? It wasn't touched. Just spun in all different directions. It doesn't matter as long as it finishes in the goal. That might be the worst goal of 2026. And Harry throws his head back and says, well, I've got three. There's a shot of Tracy, the mum, on the big screen, and half she's got the Essendon and Carlton scarf, half and half around her neck.
Yeah,
even she threw her head back in disgust. But hey, they all count. Essendon's lead cut to 8 points. The first goal of the third quarter comes the way of the Blues. Given the way it spun, I thought it must have been touched off the boot. It wasn't. It was just a shocker.
Just a helicopter.
6-4-40 the Bombers to Carlton 4-8-32.
Literal helicopter that floated and went 3 metres in the air all the way and just kept floating through. It was a disgraceful kick. But when you put it down in your record just before, you didn't draw a picture, did you? You just put it down as one. One for Harry, which makes it 3 for the night. And that's important for the Blues. Remember how it got there? We got it.
Ryan misses it in the middle. Pitnet palms it forward, but Setterfield takes it. Essendon ball, handball back to Brian, taps it onto Sardis. He's wrapped up. Another ball up in the middle of the MCG. King's Birthday Eve. 4th annual meeting between these two sides on King's Birthday Eve. Technically the second for King's Birthday Eve, I think, but before that it was Queen's Birthday. As Essendon work it out on the wing through a chain of handballs. Sardis back to Langford. He goes back to Blackerston. He'll kick on his left around the wing for Cox. Good kick. Cox feeds the handball forward to Sardis.
Good boy.
Sardis sets off with it. Gives it off to Merritt. He kicks inside 50 for the Dons. Looking for a marker. Going up Ben Mackay. Caddy 2. Neither mark. And Cowan cleans up. Back pocket for the Blues. Kick partially smothered. Ricochets out. Throwing coming left forward pocket here for the Dons. Essendon by 8 points. Have led by as many as 23.
Yeah, Nate Caddy's getting real frustrated, giving away a free kick here.
Oh, for half, I missed that.
For holding and pushing and throwing someone to the deck. They're into him. The Blues are into him. They know he's having a rough night. They're trying to milk it for as much as they can.
So Harry Dean gets the free kick. Cowan it was who sucked in the free kick from Caddy. Taken away by Nick Cox for the Bombers at half forward. Half pass to Merritt, turns it straight over. Chera takes the intercepting mark, reading it better than Perkins. Turns and comes inboard for the Blues. Wilson takes the mark. Essendon leading by 8 points. Wilson looks to switch through the middle of the ground. Jagger Smith's the target, takes the mark on his chest. Hand pass to the run of Ainsworth. Looks out far wing to the Shane Warne stand side, and Ison leads up and takes the mark. Can they get some momentum going in their ball transition here?
Merritt's in front of the deepest pair. So that's a 2-on-1 deep forward 50 for the Blues here.
So Ison comes inboard as a result to Chera, switches across the centre of the MCG. Cowan marks, looks up inside 50. The target is Hayward, can't take the mark, brought down by Blackiston, got around Evans, gets the hand pass away to Perkins, the Bombers are clear.
Perkins gives it off to Merritt. Merritt flicks it over the top, back to Perkins. Through the logo goes Perkins, kicks up to half forward, looking for Ben Mackay, juggles it, marks it. Now he wants to move it on, and Jones on a lead out on a 45-degree angle, 40 metres out, he takes it.
The longer kicks just look better, don't they? At the right time. I mean, instead of the over-handballing or overuse of the shorter kick, once you break that line, it's important to go deeper because your defender's running back and they've got their back towards the ball. You can actually dictate the contest, and Harry Mackay there Mackay just dictated that contest. Pushed his guy at the right time, takes the mark, and smartly enough just hands it off to a bloke in a better position.
First game in 403 days for Harrison Jones. His drop punt is a goal. Welcome back, Harry. And the Dons players know what it means. They come from everywhere to celebrate with him. Except for Lockie Blackiston, who gets buffeted into by Ben Ainsworth, and now it's on.
It's on.
Bit of heat in this one.
Here we go.
Now a big melee ensues.
Put up a fight, Bombers. This is good. Where has this been?
Essendon lead by 14 again. 7-4-46, plays 4-8-32.
That's all in.
12 and a half minutes into the third term. I think there were 10 players fined out of Friday night between the Bulldogs and the Hawks.
Harry and Ben are into it.
You might see a few
talking about the podcast. It was a rubbish podcast during the week. That was your fault, Ben. No, it was your fault, Harry.
Mum's about to call them in for dinner. It's like the good old days.
Yeah. It's a good story for Jones. He's a real talent. We obviously haven't seen him out there for a long time. Angela started it, by the way.
Yep.
That little brouhaha. I haven't seen him out there for a long time. He's only had 3 disposals, so it hasn't exactly been a return to glory. There's more happening as we get back to the centre bounce here.
Lauren Borden on the boundary.
I'm also just watching Sam Walsh here, who's gone into the room. So the moment he came off to the bench, the doctors chatted to him, and he's gone straight down. So it looks like it's an injury that he's carrying, and they want to manage it and take him into the rooms for a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Loz. Harry and Ben Mackay both laughing as they grab the top of each other's jumper. And the umpires have been very patient here despite this going on. They haven't paid any free kick.
I'd love to see that ball up and no one's there.
Yes, that did look like a possibility.
So good.
Essendon by 14 points. Back in the middle of the ground. Blackiston wins down the tap. Sardis, free kick for a hold.
666 probably means you can't do that, doesn't it?
Sardis kicks it inside 50. Kenny with a fly. Can't hang on to it on the second bite. It spills out and Dirksen gets the hand pass. Turns it straight over. Intercepting mark taken by Kondajanis, who has it at right half forward. Kicks a goal in the second quarter. Reloads inside 50. Caddy wants to fly tonight. He stays down this time. Ben Mackay spoiled off hands. Perkins kicks to the goal square. Charging in. Jones can't take the mark. And Haynes does enough to spoil it out of play and then puts him back on his backside, and it's on once more.
Archer Day Weeks at the bottom of the pack.
Here we go. Throw it in.
Wasn't much in that.
They're all on the
now
goal
throw it
line.
in. Yeah, perfect.
Boundary umpires going
Who's
to
rocking?
unfurl. Blackiston and Harry Mackay. Forward pocket here for the Dons. Blackiston down for Roby. He's dispossessed. Perkins fighting through. Cripps has got him. And we'll get a ball up. 20 out from the attacking goal here for Essendon.
There's a lot of numbers in here for Carlton. Even Big Harry's taking the ruck here. Essendon a +2 behind the ball.
Blackiston backhands it down. Bounces back to Harry Mackay. Blues with it. Off to Cowan to Dirksen. Kicks off a step towards the defensive 50. McGovern. Haven't called his name a lot today. Just his 5th disposal coming up. Marks on defensive 50.
Risky kick into the middle of the ground. Hayward can't take the mark. Ainsworth races after it. Langford receives the hand pass. Kicks up. McGovern flies and takes the mark. In the end, Zach Reid didn't give him the springboard he was looking for, but got up high. Marks at left half back. Switches to Harry Mackay, who's at centre half back. Leans back on a kick that leaves a little for Haynes, but it will be a 50-metre penalty.
Yeah, Ben encroached.
Against Ben. So the brothers are involved in everything at the moment.
And Harry's giving him a clap on the way through too, just to say, you're crap.
Harry has 3. Ben has 1. Harry Mackay with no one on the mark. Gets to 50. Walks right in. Misses to the right-hand side, and Pryor bounces into the right goalpost, which is still shaking.
That's sort of Lee Matthews area.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to snap.
13-point lead the Bombers way at the 15-minute mark of the third quarter. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport.
I always found that interesting. If that ball hits the post and if the players hit the post before the ball has, what are they going to call there? Because what if it wasn't going to hit? Because it moved a fair bit there.
Wobbles it back into the ball.
I don't know.
Because basketball, it's offensive interference. I'll be interested to see that. Call the goal.
50-metre penalty here for Sullivan Roby. So he'll be marched around the wing. Mark set just in front of the logo. Essendon football, they lead it by 13. Roby drives a low ball towards the contest. And the Twins go at it. And it's marked by Harry in front of Ben. So Harry Mackay with it at fullback for the Blues. As he goes short to Akers. Who pokes it on the bare 15 away to Haynes in the back pocket. Essendon clinging to that 13-point lead. 17 played, third term.
So Harry's playing the old school kick behind Ruckman.
I think, he's in the ruck at the moment. Cowan marks in the right back pocket. Can work it over the top to Harry Mackay, who takes the mark. Here come the Bronx cheers for a Essendon home game. Put on the block there and allow Cowan to run from half back. Sends it up towards McGovern. Space in front, can't take the mark. Reed spotted it down, Evans taken high. And the Blues will take it on the wing. Crashes into his opponent immediately in Roby. Then chips the ball up to Hewitt. He marks between wing and half forward. Sends a high ball looking for someone to fly. Really, Flynn Young's the only one there. And underneath it, a good mark taken by Pryor. He marks in the left back pocket for the Bombers. Immediately looks to switch.
That's the price you pay for Mackay in the forward line. He's rucking. There's no other key target up there. McGovern was up the field. You can't bomb the ball in.
Farrow with the long kick up towards the wing, going up. Haynes was infringed. Free kick going to Nick Haynes. Essendon by 13 points. Short kick from Haynes, moves it on away to Akers. He'll veer out to his right. Long kick into the pocket, run and jump. Kemp marks. Left forward pocket, not a tight angle. 25 metres out.
That was very smart by Ison there. He disguised that block enough as a forward to allow just a pretty much just a one-out uncontested mark in the end. So sometimes they call it. This time they didn't, and it's a mark from about 35 out. So good young talent to just recognise where the space is and when to block for your I suppose, teammate coming through.
He's going to go with the snap around the corner. Veers out Kemp and hooks it through. Carlton aren't going anywhere. Back to 7 points. 7-4-46, plays 5-9-39. 19 minutes into the third term. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport.
And that was the settler. I mean, Carlton, it's been fiery from both sides. The umpires are getting involved in numerous free kicks, given 50 metres. That's a settler there for Carlton that they need. I think this is going to, again, a bit of momentum. You think about giving away 50s and free kicks and just nailing the goals when you get your opportunities like they did in last quarter in 2 goals 5. So good start for Carlton. They're starting to lift the intensity. If it takes a fight to do that, they'll take that.
13-2 tackles for Carlton this quarter. 13-2.
Third individual goal kicker for the Blues tonight. Lauren Borton on the boundary.
Good news for Carlton. Sam Walsh is back up from the room, so he wasn't in any distress, ready to go back on the field, but just spent a little bit of time down there with the doctors.
Thanks, Loz. Cripps in the middle of the ground, wrestling with Durham. Pitnet wins down the tap. Hewitt gives it to Cripps, then puts a block on. Hand pass, Miss Jagger-Smith. Back to Cripps, the Carlton captain, dodging and weaving. Hacks the kick to half forward. Farrow can't hang on. McGovern knocks it out. Langford gets a hand pass back to Merritt for the Dons. Tough bouncing ball. Contagianis was bumped off it and McGovern gathers. Hand pass to Flynn Young. Hemmed in against the boundary. Centering ball. Looking for Kemp. 2 Bombers spoil it down. Reed got it to Langford. Ricochets back to Reed. Hand pass to Durham. Lost it. Bashes into Chera. They tangle for the footy. And the umpire will ball it up. There's no room for backward steps at the moment.
Well done from Chera. Now, he could have quite easily got a free kick by just staying straight on there with the oncoming Durham, but he turned his body to protect himself. That's the right way to do it.
All up, full forward for the Blues. Pitnet a hand on it.
Free kick.
Tackle from Setterfield, high free kick. Looks like Hewitt will emerge from the bottom of the pack and go back from plumb in front, 30 out, to try and bring Carlton within 1 point.
And he leant into it in the tackle.
George Hewitt, the reigning best and fairest, back in the team for the last 4 games. after finding himself out on the side. And Carlton close. It's a 1-point ball game. 7-4-46. Plays 6-9-45. 21 minutes into the third. Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard.
Well, they're starting to control the game a little bit more now. They're winning the clearances 4-3. 25 uncontested marks to 15, and that's the game that they wanted to get, and that's what they've had the last 3 games. They've obviously were losing that in the first half. So they're starting to get the games on their terms, and started with Paddy Cripps there with getting the first possession, following up. Yes, it's a scrubby kick, but he's in the game. 2 possessions, getting it forward of centre, and things happen when you just get it in 6-on-6.
All of a sudden, 4 of the last 5 goals of the match have gone the way of the Blues, and the margin is back to a point Essendon's way. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Lauren Borden down on the boundary. Chad Wingard and Daniel Harford with you for Sunday night footy. Pitnet down to Cripps, tried to knock it through. He's bumped off it by 2 Bombers. Durham goes racing after it, bounces into Florin. Ball spills clear. Sardis gets a hand pass out to Setterfield, who's ridden into the turf. Ball spills clear. Kondoyanis kicks around his body. It's over the head of Harry Jones, and Dean takes the intercepting mark. How good the 19-year-old son of a gun. Kicks up towards Newman. He marks it left half back. Chera's the target. Sport away from him. Ison runs onto it. He gathers it left half forward. Looks up on that left boot. Inside 50. Kemp got rid of his opponent. Can't take the mark. Shepherded it out illegally, says the umpire. And a free kick going the way of the Bombers in the back pocket.
It was a 4-on-2 for Carlton there too. 4-on-2. And they kicked it right in the middle of everyone.
That's a hard one, though. I mean, that's good body work at the same time. Didn't use his arms, used his body, pushed him out the way.
Reid goes back to Farrow. Off for a little gallop. Long kick to a contest. Up goes El Hawley, punched away by Cowan. And tumbles out of play between wing and half forward for the Blues. First time they've kicked back-to-back goals in a quarter today, Carlton. Did kick back-to-back goals either side of the long break through Harry Mackay. First time in a quarter. Only 1 point Essendon's lead. Throw in half forward for Carlton. Tapping it down, Pitnet. Coming through Cox.
Had to be close to high contact. Couldn't get pinged here.
And he was clipped on the way through. No free kick. One goes the other way.
Walsh with a knee in his back. Gets the free kick. I don't understand.
17-14, the free kicks away the Bombers, just if you're wondering.
So Walsh, too far out to score. Sets it up to the pocket. Cripps. Hands to it. Can't repeat the heroics of the game against Geelong. Ball comes down. Close to the boundary line. Kempen. Essendon in a rugby maul. Force it out. They lead by a point. Did lead by as many as 23 midway through the second.
Let's get to goal in his last 6 games. Paddy Cripps, the Carlton captain. Reborn under Josh Fraser as he tries to lead this club once more. Kicked the match-winning goal last week. Pitnet tries to knock it down to the front. Cox knocks it out. Roberts onto it for the Bombers. Over the top to Setterfield by hand. Hurries a kick up towards half-back. Cowan's well-positioned. Can't take the mark. Ben Mackay was involved with Haynes, and in the end, Cowan got a rough landing. Gathered by Harry Jones. Gets a hand pass away to Dersma. Feeds it back to Sardis. Not a lot of options down the line, so sends it high and long. Back with a flight. Daywicks did well. El Hawley slipped over. Tries to knock it out. Hewitt wins it for the Blues. Hand pass away to Wilson. Now to Nick Newman. Kicks wide for Frankie Evans. Missed him. Roberts makes the spoil. Gets it back from Sardis. Roberts hard against the boundary line. Inboard. Poor kick. And Dirksen sliding in takes the mark for the Blues.
Dirksen kicks infield for Jagger Smith, drops the mark, and a high tackle from Jagger. Free kick going the way of Elijah Sardis. Just has to reattach his head after that tackle before he can take the free kick. Goes right back to Pryor at fullback here for Essendon.
See how they go with the Bombers. They're the ones under attack at the moment. They've led the game in just about every facet up until this point. How do they respond?
Pryor takes off. Thumps a kick up to the wing. Nobody there. Farrow gathers on the bounce. He's wrapped up by Ison. And the umpire will come in to ball it up. Don's still by a point. 25 and a half minutes travelled third term.
15-6, the inside 50 so far in this third quarter. As Walsh gives the hand pass back to Chera from the stoppage. Sends it long up inside 50. Pryor's there, but Reid reels in the mark. Zach Reid back to some of his best footy.
Oh, word.
Much to Essendon fans' delight.
Most assured I've seen Zach Reid.
Yeah. Confidence in his body and his game. Out to Cox, who takes the mark in the back pocket. Feeds it around the back to Roberts. Works it up to Zach Merrin. Gives it back to Nick Cox. Speaking of players who had a tough run through injury, he just pulls his kick out to Harry Jones. This is one area in the third quarter where the Blues have taken control. The uncontested marks. Carlton 28-20. As Harry Jones veers out to the right, centre wing on the members' side. Up towards Ben Mackay, trying to shove out Dirksen. Can't do that. Oh, hang on. Free kick going Carlton's way, going against the Blues. El Hooley, the umpire said, was bumped out of it beforehand against Wilson. Would have thought one each way. Anyway, El Hooley into the pocket. In front, Cowan takes the mark against El Ashka in game 50. For Lockie Cowan, he has it in the back pocket for Carlton.
Kicks up to the wing, looking for Hayward. Cox trying to break it up. Hayward brings it down, keeps his feet, gathers the footy for Carlton, kicks out in front of Akers. It was perfect, didn't break stride. Akers kicks to the pocket and finds his target. Kemp marks. 20 out, tight angle, left forward pocket. And Carlton are looking for their first lead of the game.
That Will Hayward contest, geez, that's impressive. Not to just win that half that and keep your feet and then hit that next kick. That is super impressive. And going quicker and longer off those contests is what's allowing Carlton to get out of the back of them.
He's already kicked one from a similar spot. Kemp is going to go the snap. Plays on. Kemp hits the post. It won't be Carlton's first lead of the night. We're back where we started. Scores level. With 1 minute to play in the third term, Carlton making all of the running. They've kicked 3 goals to 1.
Essendon have lost all their dash and dare. The Blues have clamped it down nicely in this term.
Bombers got out by 24 points in the second quarter. But Carlton with 3 goals, 3 in this third quarter to Essendon's 1-1.
I know there's only a little bit to go, so they're all playing safe at the moment, but there's been nothing assertive from Essendon in this quarter with ball in hand.
Durham got it from Langford, now sends it out wide to Perkins. Has it left half back. Bombers just trying to hold on for three-quarter time into the middle of the ground where Blackiston takes the mark. Plenty of finger pointing to go back behind the play. Ignores that, sends it out to Nick Cox, who marks on the members' side. Now with 9 disposals in this third quarter. Cox now does follow the instructions and sends it back to Langford at half-back. Switch across half-back when the mark is taken by Farrow. Send it all the way out to right half-back where Pryor marks.
I reckon they've gone with the cards too early down the bench. The boys think there was only 30 seconds to go, but there was a minute and a half.
Essendon pretty content to take this tied scoreline into the final quarter. 7-4-46 plays 6-10-46. It's Essendon with the more accurate scoreline, 7-4, Carlton 6-10. The goal kickers for Carlton, 3 to Harry Mackay, then it's all singles to Kemp, to Hewitt and Byrne, while for Essendon, 2 to Hussein El Ashka, singles to Durham, Jones, Redman, Ben Mackay and also Kondo Giannis. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport, the 4th King's Birthday Eve clash, and it will be decided in the 4th term.
The Bombers led by 7 points at quarter time, by 14 at half time, and scores a level at three-quarter time. Earlier it was the Sydney Swans who prevailed by 2 points over St Kilda, coming from behind 15-14-104 to the Saints 15-12-102. St Kilda led by 33 points in the second quarter, but the Swans pinched it at the death through Jai Sarong, who got a hand pass away from Isaac Heaney and slammed through the goal with 14 seconds remaining. And still to come, of course, the King's Birthday clash between Collingwood and Melbourne back here at the MCG tomorrow. Great to have your company. This is Sunday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
A young man vanishes and something about it doesn't sit right.
It made no sense.
I'm Rob Bergen. Join me for What Became of Jack, the new season of Unravel.
You know where my son is.
Search for the Unravel podcast on ABC Listen.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Gets a half pass away that releases Florent. A bounce through the middle of the ground. Ran his full measure. Daywicks almost dragged him down. Inside 50. Harry Mackay takes the mark. He's shooting for his third. Kicks into the man on the mark. Did he know? It wasn't touched. Just spun in all different directions. It doesn't matter as long as it finishes in the goal. That might be the worst goal of 2026. And Harry throws his head back and says, well, I've got 3.
Through the logo goes Perkins. Kicks up to half forward. Looking for Ben Mackay. Juggles it. Marks it. Now he wants to move it on. And Jones on a lead out on a 45-degree angle. 40 metres out. He takes it. First game in 403 days for Harrison Jones. His drop punt is a goal. Welcome back, Harry. And the Dons players know what it means. They come from everywhere to celebrate with him, except for Lockie Blackiston, who gets buffeted into by Ben Ainsworth, and now it's on.
It's on.
Bit of heat in this one.
Here we go.
Now a big melee ensues.
Put up a fight, Bombers. This is good. Where has this been? Harry and Ben are into it.
Mum's about to call them in for dinner. It's like the good old days.
Yeah.
Short kick from Haynes, moves it on away to Akers. He'll veer out to his right. Long kick into the pocket, run and jump. Kemp marks the left forward pocket, not a tight angle. He's going to go with the snap around the corner. Veers out Kemp and hooks it through. Carlton aren't going anywhere. All up, full forward for the Blues. Pitnet a hand on it.
Free kick.
Tackle from Setterfield, high free kick. Looks like Hewitt will emerge from the bottom of the pack and go back from Plum in front. Back in the team after finding himself out of the side. And Carlton close. It's a 1-point ball game.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
3/4 time of the MCG, the Kings' birthday eve clash between Essendon and Carlton, and they can't be separated at 46 apiece after the Bombers got out by 24 points in the second quarter. Josh Fraser is there addressing his forward line, while Dean Solomon has bounced from his defenders to his midfielders and now is working on the board. Essendon 7-4-46 to Carlton 6-10-46. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Lauren Borden down on the boundary. The thoughts of our experts Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard.
Much better performance by the Blues in that term. We expected that after half-time. And they won the clearance battle for the first quarter out of the 3 so far tonight. The tackle count, we talked about that through the quarter, it was 15-6. So just the basic effort stats, the basic contest stats, even contested possession. Now they're still down a couple, but it's been better than they've represented themselves throughout the first half as well, Chad. So we saw a better performance, more intent to defend, picked it up early just behind the ball. They were much closer to their opponents, not guarding space. Clearly back to almost a man-on-man type scenario. Go and beat your blokes. One of those messages, I reckon, at half-time. Let's go and beat our blokes and be really physical at the ground ball and contested ball. And they did that, and they got themselves back into the game, and they've stopped a couple of players too. Sam Durham had 1 disposal that term, had 22 at half-time, had 1 for the term. So they've identified that, they've shut him out, they're hard on themselves, and all of a sudden they're back in the contest. Yeah,
and they're back on the contest from, like you just mentioned, effort and getting the basics right.
Yep.
The cream on the top for them, especially that third quarter, was their inside 50s. They were 11, but they got 3 goals, 3. So scoring over half their entries. You think about Essendon on the other side, they actually won that quarter of inside 50s with 12, and they got away with 1 goal, 1.
Yep.
So, yes, you'll see that Carlton was holding down the fort for a long time in their D50, but them transitioning and going down to the other side is why they're getting a lot of those shots. They're looking more potent, like you just mentioned, without Mackay down there, who helps out with McGovern stepped up, just as you mentioned his name, won a couple of contests. Will Hayward winning contests on the wings, and they're getting forward of the ball with less numbers. So the density that Essendon are coming up against in their inside 50s is nearly the whole team's down there, compared to when Carlton are getting it from either centre square or turnover or winning a contest and getting it in like 1v1s. So, I mean, that's a pretty potent stat if you're scoring in half your entries in a game like this where scores are hard to come by.
Thoughts of Chad Wingard and Daniel Harford. Sunday night footy here on ABC Sport. The players just milling back into position for this final quarter. Josh Fraser, a pretty laid-back kind of guy, isn't he? Just sauntered off down the race, back to the box.
He's a saunterer.
Yep.
I think he fits into the sauntering category.
If they win this 4 on the trot, are we calling it the Fraser Freight Train? We've had the Teague train, but...
No, don't go mentioning public transport and trains at the Blues, thanks.
So I think Corby ran that out on the podcast, ABC AFL Daily, wherever you get your pods.
5 drops a week.
Yeah, 5 different flavours, half you and I tomorrow, wrapping up the round.
It's exciting.
Tomorrow, half. Yeah, of course, tomorrow morning for your drop. Final quarter underway, 46 apiece. And the opening tap goes the way, a free kick for a hold, and there's going to be a free kick the way of the Bombers. Elijah Sardis is going to take it to the right of the centre circles. He plays on. Ison tried to lunge forward. He claims he's touched it. Umpire didn't agree. Pitnet dropped the mark anyway. Gathers it, half pass away to Cripps. Kicks off balance up towards the wing. Flynn Young's the one blue there. Might have been held by Robertson.
Yep.
Carlton will get a free kick here on the Shane Warne side.
Isn't that pressure from Ison on the free kick? Or just little things. for the Blues.
Out past to Wilson. Kick was touched by Asada. Spills out though. Ainsworth gathers, turns goalward, fires towards goal. Blackerson.
Oh, I don't reckon he touched
I don't think he touched that. I think Kemp might have socketed it through anyway. We're going to go upstairs and try and work out what happened here. Was Kemp over the goal line and did Blackerson touch it?
Well, he gave the immediate thumbs up to the goal umpire as if to say, yeah, I touched it.
It's a nervous moment.
I don't think he did.
I don't reckon he did either. Let's have a look.
He didn't look confident.
So the soft call is touched.
It's a saviour. It didn't look like it, did it?
And Kemp's boot was over the line, and he didn't.
And a metre
anywhere
away.
near it.
I reckon it deflects after it goes past his fist. I think Blackerson did touch it.
Yeah, you might be right.
So he's going to avoid some blushes here by getting the all clear from behind, and that'll be enough to give the Blues the lead to start this final term. Would you be giving this out?
Not out. If that was me and I was batting, I'd be filthy if they gave me out on this.
Yeah, but you were never a walker, Huff.
Oh, no way. Not.
Yeah, so
that there doesn't look like it.
There's no way that's
that's
conclusive.
touched. That's not touched.
I reckon it deviates.
Nah, look at the momentum of his fist. It will deviate way more.
Nah, there's a slight deviation.
Where's Snicko on the forearm? Why haven't we got that these days?
Hot spot.
Comes as no surprise when it comes to the art. None of us can agree, but the Blues lead by a point as the ball comes back into play through Merritt.
First lead of the night for Carlton. Merritt brings it into Roberts. A left foot kick to the wing. Durham gliding through the air.
It's a good sign. He needs to get active and get busy in this last quarter if they're going to win this, the Bombers.
Strong overhead mark. Moves it back to Redmond. It goes back to Roberts. Roberts kicks across to Merritt. Merritt will kick out wide, and that is a shocker.
Yeah.
Turns it over. Kemp marks. Carlton back with it half forward. Wide out. Nothing he likes immediately. Carlton by a point. Their first lead of the night. Chips to the pocket. Harry Mackay through his hands. And the ball tumbles out.
Hated that from the Bombers, Chad. When Durham takes that really good mark in front of us, they could have advanced the game, challenged the game a bit, challenged the defence of Carlton. They decided to go back and get squeezed into a pocket. They haven't done that all night. Why would you do that now?
Especially not when they're not going quick either.
Yeah.
Shallow throw in. Neither ruck's got there. Brian tries to take possession now. His kick ineffective. Cripps gets a hand pass away to Hewitt. Back to Chera on 50. Inside 50. McGovern. And in the end, Langford stood his ground and did enough to claim the mark. Only about 10 metres out from his defensive goal line. Carlton leading by a point. Plays on in the right back pocket. Doesn't have a lot of options though, so goes for Day Wicks and a 3-on-1.
Does a great job.
Brought down in the end by Newman. Then Setterfield just squeezed the kick up towards El Ashkar, can't gather. Cowan dodging and weaving. Got a hand pass away to Florent, now to Newman. Boundary side. Curls it on his right boot around the body. McGovern trying to get there late. In the end, spoiled it out of play in front of Langford and forces a boundary throw in the left forward pocket. Under the Olympic stand, Carlton leading by a point. 4 minutes gone. Final term, Sunday night footy on ABC Sport.
Too many Bombers players just hovering back and folding back into the back half of defence at the moment. Right, especially when they're trying to get out. They're all in the same spot. Got to lengthen the ground.
Umpire flings it in. Both rucks miss it. Ball bobbles around. Walsh picks it up. Feeds it out to Hewitt. High snap. It'll go straight up and down. Ryan launches at it for Essendon. Ends up with Setterfield on the deck. And another ball up. Just inside 50 here for the Blues. Carlton by a point. 6-11 plays 7-4. Can't do the quick math. That's Carlton leading by a point. It's 6-11. Free kick to Essendon, and they come away with it through Roberts, who moves it to Dersma.
He looks to swing it out to left half back. It's not without risk. Langford couldn't take the mark. McGovern brought it down, and Flynn Young's away. Players to his right or left. Hand pass away to Ainsworth. Fires towards goal. Carlton lead by 7. Oh, they made them play on the turnover there. And Ainsworth able to slam it through. The Blues leading for the first time in the match just a few minutes ago now get some ascendancy. A 7-point lead. 7-11-53 to Essendon. 7-4-46. 5 minutes gone in the final term. Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard, your experts on ABC Sport.
And we're talking about the unpredictable ball movement of Essendon. They're not sure where to go. I mean, you've got their best players in Merritt and Durham making these sorts of kicks and disposals and missing easy that they would have in the first half. Just wonder what the direction been from the coach at three-quarter time, because they're not going forward. They want to go around, but they're not going with speed. They need to be a little bit more classy with their ball, especially in their back half. You can't have turnovers and goals against, especially in the middle of the ground. What a great finish there.
Yeah.
That can get them up and going.
Last 3 goals of the game. Pitnet taps it out clear, but Sardis tracks back, gathers for Essendon. Sweeps the handball out wide to Roberts, whose kick isn't great. And work out for Cox on the bounce.
Forced to retreat again.
Handball back to Roberts. They're going backwards here, Essendon. Merritt kicks forwards and turns it over.
Oh, they're a mess. They're an absolute mess, Essendon, at the moment. Carlton's pressure's been good. They're really coming at them and making them try and get past them, but they're a mess.
Florent marks and then gets around the man on the mark. Kicks up to McGovern. 53 out. Too far out to score. It is one-way traffic on way of those in navy blue at the moment.
Turns and comes inboard to Chero, takes the mark, but still 2 kicks out from goal. Sets into the pocket, Cripps comes leading out and marks in front of Roberts. That's a pretty good set play. Space left in front of the captain, even Harry Mackay realised it wasn't intended for him. And Patrick Cripps marks in the right forward pocket. He was the one who finished the job against the Cats last week. This will be a telling goal. The Blues haven't kicked the last 3 goals of the match.
Just a great kick to advantage.
I was going to say, if you close your eyes and change the Guernsey, that is Tom Hawkins, and we used to call it in the pool. That they just put it in space, he owns the area, and he just leads at the right time. I mean, it looked like a full forward, didn't he, just then?
Yeah, it's that gap they leave for Jack Gunston to run into space. Paddy Cripps with the twinkle toes coming in from the right forward pocket. 35 metres out, he misses to the right-hand side.
Patrick.
Malthouse had to close his eyes and he snapped around his body from 15 metres out last week to win the game. But the Blues lead by 8 points, 7 minutes gone. Final term, Sunday night footy on ABC Sport.
As good as he is, it's never been a strength. Short kick in.
Now they've taken out all the little 45s here, the Blues. They've done a good job resetting their defence after half-time.
Centrefield goes back to Redmond, and Redmond was bumped after he kicked downfield. So Jackson Pryor, the recipient. Carlton by 8 points. Pryor just lifts it over the top to Sardis. Essendon haven't really looked like it. Carlton with 4 of the last 5 goals in the game. Sardis moves it around the boundary line for Perkins. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport. King's birthday tomorrow. Big Freeze 12. Perkins, kick to a contested half forward for Essendon. Off the hands of the pack. Durham quickly rushes a kick to Daywicks. Ball to play on. Handball to Merritt. 45 out, turns tackler on Jagger Smith. Ball jars free. Farrow gathers. Handball back into the mark. Coming through Durham. Slaps it out to Langford. Gathers, kicks inside 50. Merritt dropped the mark. Time to recover. His snap falls short. And Dean on the last line for Carlton marks. They lead by 8. 8 minutes into the fourth.
Merritt's had a really bad last 5 minutes. He's had 3 clangers in his last 3 kicks.
He's been released up on the ball too.
Yep. He and Ben Ainsworth both have interesting nights as Dean in the back pocket chips it over the top and Haynes has it. Carlton leading by 8 points to the Bombers have another shot left in them. Across half back, Dean takes the mark. He's in the defensive goal square. 9 minutes gone in the final term. He plays on, looks up towards half back. Hewitt's got a few metres on Perkins, and that's enough. Great ball use. Hand pass over the top to Walsh. He links up with Akers at half back for the Blues. Hand pass to Haywood. Wants to give the hand pass off. Now has to kick into the middle of the ground. Jagger Smith can't mark. Merritt brought it down. Knocks it into the path of Redmond. Can't pick up the footy. Eventually it comes out to Perkins. Dursman run down. Newman caught him. Holding the ball. The Blues win it back at left half back.
Yeah, that sums up their second half, Carlton. They are just lifting. They will lift themselves to victory with this sort of stuff.
Newman's kick poked out wide for Wilson. Trying to make it 4 in a row, Carlton. Can you believe that? They would get to 5 and 8 on the season and be very live in wildcard discussions. Wilson goes back to Haynes inside the defensive arc. He moves it to the worn wing and finds Chera. Chera lifts the kick over the top, trying to get it towards Byrne. Juggles the mark. Tapped by Roberts on the way through. Feeds the forward handball to the runner, Florent. 60 out from goal. Beautiful kick. And Haywood spilt it. Dropped the mark. Jagger Smith cleans it up, gives it off to Ison. Floating kick to full forward. Langford's down there, spoils it away. Bouncing ball. Gathered by Reid, wrapped up by Pitnet. Ball up, full forward for the Blues. Carlton by 8 points.
They're just hanging on at the moment, the Bombers. Cripps, and in the end, Hayward, either of them could have taken the mark. Thrown up, Cripps is doing the ruck work here against Bryan. Bryan one down the tap. Walsh tries to rip it clear from Durham, who's on the bottom of the pack, and the umpire will ball it up. Just 20 metres out from Carlton's goal at the punt road end. The Blues by 8 points. Thrown up, Pitnet and Bryan. Bryan got a touch onto it. Hayward can't break away as Redmond hangs on for dear life, and the umpire will throw it up once more.
What can Carlton conjure here? Pitnet gathers at ground level, out to Walsh, to Akers, kick smothered. Desperate effort from Merritt. Smothered the kick, it spills out and tackled Redmond. That was big from Zach Merritt. Carlton by 8 points, another ball up. Both rucks touch it. Pitnet has a second go. Farrow dumps it on the non-preferred right boot. Out wide. And the mark taken by Perkins. Camping underneath it, takes the mark. Has to get around his man Akers. Kicks Essendon up to the wing. They trail by 8 points. Caddy marks. Thinks about the handball, decides not to. Essendon right on the centre line, Members side of the ground.
He holds up the footy, waiting for players to run into space, and then in the end decides to run around Dirksen on the mark. High kick inside 50. Ben Mackay reaches up and takes the mark. He has El Hooley, but he's got his back to him. It has been the battle of the Mackays at either end, and Ben gets a chance to try and put through his second and keep the Bombers in this contest.
That's a pet peeve of mine as a forward.
I bet.
At least have a look.
Oh, yeah.
At least have a look. If you get a walk-in goal, you just never know.
Always. Particularly those long balls where everyone sort of falls in on the ball, collapses in on the ball.
The defender come forward. Ben Mackay from just inside 50. Starts at left. Tries to work it back. It won't come back. And a minor score. Carlton by 7 points. 12 minutes gone. Final term. The Bombers haven't kicked a goal since the 12-minute mark of the third quarter. They've kicked just one goal since half-time.
Florent, short to the pocket for Walsh. Zips away with it. Feeds Chera the handball. Off to Cowan. Back to Walsh. Too hot for him. Spills out of his hands to Essendon and Roberts. Kicks inside 50. And here he is again. Ben Mackay bursting up to mark. 35 out. Slight angle left of centre. Take two.
Yeah, it was on. That handball from Cowan to Walsh was on. It was just behind him. 30 centimetres.
You didn't give it the first time, then try to give it halfway through the second time.
Yep. What do you got, Benny?
Trots in. Laces through it from 45.
Oh!
Big Ben strikes. And it's back to a point. Don't write off the Dons just yet. 7-12-54 plays 8-5-53. 13 and a half into the fourth. Chad Wingard and Daniel Harford.
Well, if Carlton end up losing this game, it's going to be on the back of their own efforts. I mean, you talk about their scoring now, what is it? It's 7-12 to 8-5, so they've shot themselves in the foot in terms of in front of goal, and just their turnovers, and having a turnover handball game, they don't look that strong, and they haven't throughout the whole season when they handball chain. They just don't from their back half. As soon as they start the handball chain from their back half, whether they go through the corridor or not, they look much stronger when they're either kicking through or going to a contest, and then they get past that. But at the moment, with their handball, they just don't look strong enough or assertive enough to get through the likes of a team like this at the moment who's hot on them.
76,745 in at the MCG, a 1 point game. Blackerson in the middle of the ground, tries to get a half pass clear. Mackay, that's Harry, gets a half pass out to Cripps, searching half pass for Evans, inside 50, gets it on to Byrne, kick partially smothered. Ricochets into the left forward pocket. McGovern leads the foot race, tries to slap it at Kemp's advantage, but he's shoved over the boundary line. And Farrow,
it's not a free kick.
You're the Carlton fans sitting like that. He sort of went charging into the fence, and in the end, I think the umpire has said throw it in, but it was one of those momentary pauses where Kemp thought he might get a free kick.
No, it's a free kick.
Oh, he has.
Yeah, no, that's a bad decision.
No, I don't mind it. The ball was dead.
Oh, he's a step across the line, and he gives
and the ball was already out.
Gives him a little nudge. There's nothing in there. He ran into the fence.
Jeez,
yeah, he sold it, but it's unnecessary.
In his 11th game, Jacob Farrow, this would be a big price to pay as Kemp's in the left forward pocket.
Silly.
For all the holding and roughhousing that's gone on tonight, they ping him for that.
Just because it's a dead play.
45 metres out, Kemp curls it around his body and steers it through. Finger in the air to the Carlton fans as he puts through his second. And the Blues immediately respond after the Ben Mackay goal at the other end. Back to a 7-point margin. Carlton 8-12-60. Essendon 8-5-53. 15 minutes gone. Final terms. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport.
No, I reckon that's garbage, but great finish, like from Kemp. That's an incredible finish in the situation, let alone the angle and the challenge just from a skill perspective. It's a brilliant finish. He's been pretty important in this second half. Big Bro's in front of in that forward 50 for the Blues, especially when Harry's in the ruck like he is at the moment. He and McGovern have been the targets, and he's the one that's really stood up. I reckon he's done a good job. So well done to him. Still reckon it's a crap free.
I was going to...
Shocked me back in the forward, and
I'm actually with you, Chad. I thought the ball was dead.
Yeah.
Like, the more you see it, the more
the ball's out of bounds early in the game when they had the big roughhouse and the brouhahas. Ball's over the boundary line throw in, and players are holding each other, throwing them to the ground. No free kicks.
Yeah.
Back in the middle, the Blues out of the contest. Cripps, long kick to full forward. No mark. Spoiled away by Reid. Evans onto it in the pocket. Zigging, zagging, centering kick, and he finds Byrne.
Great kick.
He's bundled over to... But he'll go back and kick for goal. Taylor Byrne.
Fans wanted 50.
Was it there?
Nah. Ran in.
Much in it.
Ran into him. It was a great kick from Frankie. Does some nice stuff every now and then, Frankie Evans. It's a clever player, I reckon.
Could have had a shot in goal if he realised that his man fell over.
Boy from Karoit. Byrne, baby, Byrne. Kicks it. And Carlton, they lead by 13. 9-12-66. Plays 8-5-53. A couple for Taylor Byrne. Kicked Carlton's first of the night. Is it a match-winning lead? 17 and a half minutes into the final term.
And they're just potent inside forward 50. I mean, 8 inside 50s now for the quarter. Kicking 3 goals too. So kicking over nearly 60% of their entries. So, again, that was just a centre clearance. Yes, it's gone to the deck. They've made the most of it, shaped it up. But they just look so much more potent. You think about 1 goal 1, obviously for Essendon. And last quarter, they had 1 goal 1 from 13 entries. So Essendon aren't able to get scores on board per entry. And obviously Carlton there. Yes, they got a free kick in that last one, but that's just pure effort and just selfless.
Yep. No, that was good. That was really good.
It was 6 goals to 3 the Bombers' way in the first half. It's been 6 goals to 2 Carlton's way in the second half. The Blues now all of a sudden have kicked, 5 of the last 6 goals in the match.
Good for Byrne too. Had that moment where he missed after the siren earlier.
That's Collingwood.
Yeah. So a little moment for him, an important moment. He nailed it. So that's great for his confidence.
Blackiston competing against Harry Mackay in the ruck. Free kick going the Bombers' way. As Mackay across the line, Blackiston kicks out to left half forward, having to wait underneath it. Cox takes the mark, brushes off his opponent out wide for Caddy, who marks in the left forward pocket. In front of the big free slide. And every time you think the Bombers are just about cooked, they find a way to come up with an answer. Can Nate Caddy, who's had a quiet night, find a way to keep his side in this contest? He opens up the angle, curls it around his body, and misses to the left-hand side.
He rushed it. I think he went too early.
Wanted to get it moving. It's a 12-point lead the way of the Blues. 19 minutes gone. Final term on ABC Sport.
Good pressure there from Carlton. I'm not sure who actually rushed his kick because I reckon he wanted to take an extra step and he obviously shortened up and that's why it missed to the closer side. So great pressure there from the Carlton defender.
Newman bringing it back in. Kicks to a contest. Blackiston brings it down but Jagger Smith is waiting. Carlton chain handballs. Turn it over though. Jones steals it for the Dons. Perkins kick. A poor one.
Horrible.
Straight to Cowan. He marks the centre half back and now the Blues can just settle it down. 7 minutes of game time remaining. Out to Akers and then back infield to Wilson. Sunday night footy on ABC Sport. Nearing time on in the fourth. Carlton by 12. Looking for 4 on the trot. Wilson kicks out wide and Pryor spoils it out. So a throw in neutral territory on the Warn wing.
And again, a handball chain that's a turnover in their defensive half by Paddy Cripps there. When they get into the kick mark, uncontested, they look a lot stronger in their back half. When they try to handball chain too late, again, we said it earlier, they just don't look that strong in that part of their game style yet.
Chad Wingard with you on ABC Sport. Jagger Smith from the clearance gets a hand pass to Hewitt. Advises Cripps down the line. That's the option, and Kemp leads up and takes the mark. He's still 2 good kicks out from goal though. Kemp looks long. Hayward's on the move, tries to send in that direction, and he runs into the space. McGovern just held Langford out of it. And Pryor was the caravan who was being dragged around by Hayward, who just led beautifully into the space. And Carlton's forward line looks a completely different beast to what it was early in the season.
Well, even early in the game,
yeah.
To be honest with you, Clinchy, they looked all at sea as a cohesive unit. But even that, I reckon he's holding him out almost for the lead to come in behind him.
Yeah.
McGovern there, watching the replay. That's good cohesion. That's good teamwork.
She's had a relatively quiet night, Mitch McGovern. He's had the 8 disposals, hasn't hit the scoreboard. Hayward fires on goal. This might just about do it. Celebrations for the Blues in the forward 50. And it's now an 18-point margin. Carlton look to kick clear as they finish with a flurry, 4-1 in this final term. And Will Hayward, the new Blue, celebrating with his teammates. 10-12-72 to Essendon, 8-6-54 as we tick past 22 minutes gone in the final term.
That is hilarious. I mean, Will Hayward, for the listeners at home, he took his time with that set shot.
Too much.
Too much time that he actually got called to play on.
Yeah.
So it became a set shot and turned into a field kick. And luckily enough, it went through the middle sticks. But you don't see that very often at all, especially when he wasn't. He actually didn't shorten his run up at all. Actually, still looked pretty classy. But geez, that's a classic one. I haven't seen that before.
That was different. Back in the middle. They scrap after it after the ball hits the deck, and Pitnet with nowhere to go. He's wrapped up.
Which normally if you just start walking in, they stop the clock, but he never started walking in.
Yeah.
Get moving. Pitnet hooking it down again. Blues will be happy with repeat stoppages here. Hewitt hands it back to the umpire. We go again. Ryan looking to get it down. Spills out for the Dons towards Durham. Handball a turnover. Now the Blues back with it. Court holding the ball though. Ben Ainsworth. So will be an Essendon free kick to be taken by Merritt. Carlton lead by 18 points. And the Dons have work to do.
Caution to the breeze now for the Bombers. Durham gets a hand pass away to Roberts at left half forward. A driving kick to the goal square. Where's Ben Mackay? The two Blues spoil each other. Haynes and Evans, and it goes through for a minor score. 17-point lead Carlton's way at the 23-minute mark of the final term. In front of 76,745. I think we're going to get upwards of 80,000 hopefully tomorrow, Benny. So what a big 48 hours it is for the MCG.
It's big sort of 30 hours, isn't it? It's just a massive night into the next day, like Anzac Day now. Carlton slowly bringing it out of their D50. Ainsworth looking out very wide as the ball is punched away by Cox, close to the boundary line. Akers goes and picks it up for the men in navy blue. Floats his kick, but it might work out for Jagger Smith. Right there with him, Setterfield. Smith able to gather, gets rid of it to Young. Handball knocked away by Merritt. Essendon back in possession on the wing. Roberts turns back into them, plenty of time, out to Setterfield. He'll set up a kick towards half forward, launching out at Cowan. Doesn't mark, Newman's there to help out, and the Blues can bounce off half back.
Now pass to Jagger Smith through the middle of the ground, got it to Ainsworth. Flares the kick out to the members' wing. Hayward has enough time to regather the mark he couldn't take, and then chips it up over the top looking for McGovern. It was touched on the way through. McGovern with a big tackle on Redmond. Hand pass comes from Dersma. Pryor slipped over, shovels a hand pass forward to Redmond. Flat-footed, around Cherrett to Dersma, boundary side. Kicks up to half forward when Mackay leads up. He's 2 kicks out from goal though. Turns inboard to Harry Jones. He's right on 50.
Turn around.
Redmond's on the run, gives him the hand pass on the fly from 50 out to the right. It's offline to the left. Worked underneath. Caddy beats Dean. And Nate Caddy just worked his 19-year-old opponent underneath to take the mark in the left forward pocket. Comes racing out. Cowan comes charging at him, but this time Nate Caddy steers it through. Is there still a pulse? 25 minutes gone in the final term. The margin is back to 11. It's just the second goal for the Bombers in this final term. Carlton have booted 4. Carlton 10-12-72 to Essendon 9-7-61. You wouldn't have thought so, but 3.5 minutes to go. Still time.
Plenty of game footy. A nice presenting again by Ben Mackay in the forward line for the Bombers. It was good. Then brought the ball back inside. So that was the first real time we've seen them attack wide, then bring it back in. Really in the second half. They did it all in the first half and got some really good looks, but that was the first time we saw it for the Bombers. I wouldn't have given the handball to Redmond, I must admit, but one-on-one deep. Caddy had great position and, more importantly, took the moment. He's had a dirty night, but that might be his moment to ignite his team in 3.5 minutes.
Kicked a goal in 16 consecutive games now, Nate Caddy, so keeps that streak alive late in the game. Cripps out of the middle for Carlton, punched away by Merritt, back into dispute. Out after it there is McGovern, and it ricochets away to Dersma. Gives it to Bryan, off to Farrow, Essendon on the wing. Nowhere to go, goes back to Bryan, who kicks up to half forward. Reed's gone forward, can't half volley it. Leaves it behind for Wilson. Essendon is surging though. Roby goes and gets it. Off to Jones, who gives it to Daywicks. Has to fight through a tackle. Handball to Durham, back to Reed, under pressure. Just gets rid of it. Wilson coming through. He's dispossessed. Ugly passage of play, holding free kick. And that will go the way of Carlton.
Yeah, lingering tackle.
So Wilson on the back flank, Carlton leading by 11.
That was messy from Essendon. Could have just kept rolling corridor, but they kept going back through the numbers.
Wilson taking his time as Haynes is putting his boot back on. Umpire eventually calls play on. So Billy Wilson up towards the wing. Mackay, that's Harry, worked underneath it. Gathered by Langford. Hand pass to Farrow. To Roby under immediate pressure. Can't get a disposal away. And Hayward's turn to the umpire. Not enough intent to knock it out. Holding the ball. Free kick will go the way of the Blues. And Mitch McGovern rises on the top of Sullivan Roby to take the free kick for the Blues. Turns and comes inboard to Jagger Smith. Not 15. Swings it back boundary side. Haynes sliding on his knees. Takes the mark. He can work it back to half back where Nick Newman takes it. So 27 minutes gone in the final term. An 11-point lead Carlton's way. Can the Blues wax this for a couple of minutes? Newman now forced to kick long down the line, and Cheryl leads up and takes the mark centre wing.
They're just taking a little bit of time out of the game. Sand slipping through the hourglass for Essendon.
So were the days of our lives.
Chera kicks up towards half forward, and Harry Mackay marks. Carlton by 11. 28 minutes into the fourth. Mackay's trying to say he's kicking for goal, I think.
Not having a shot.
Surely not. We're not letting him take the 30 here.
I think she is.
Smart.
Right, brilliant. Very clever. But this is going nowhere near it. Unless he shanks it and go out of bounds on the foot.
So Mackay allowed to take a lot of time off the clock. I wonder if he'll pull his kick after all of this. He does. Sets it up towards the hot spot. Marking contest off the hands of the pack. And it comes down with Redmond. It'll be balled up.
It's great game management.
That is very smart.
Yeah,
even the walk-in was slow. Like, he took his 30 and he's taken a walk-in that took another 5 to 10 seconds off the clock.
Shouldn't have been allowed, though.
But how do you prove that wasn't a shot for goal?
You say, Harry, you're being ridiculous. You're not kicking it that far.
We've seen a helicopter. We've seen it all, mate. Anything can pass a set shot these days.
Time running out for the Bombers. Durham tries to get it going forward. Dersma gets the hand pass away to the run of Setterfield up to Caddy, and a 2-on-1. He takes the mark. McGovern and Dean there. Problem is he's 65 out from home. He loads it up inside 50. Reed's gone forward. What a mark! He takes the mark 15 out directly in front. And Zach Reed, the defender, all of a sudden has a chance to keep his team in it. Has never kicked a goal until now in his 32nd game. Keeps it alive, but time is almost out. It's a 5-point Carlton lead. 10-12-72 to Essendon. 10-7-67. Drag the goalkeeper, send Zach Reed forward. It comes down with an impressive mark.
And Harv, this is what I love about the 6-6-6 rule.
Yes.
There is a genuine chance. If this was back in the day, you'd have the Buddha Hocking flood.
Yep.
You'd have every single player in the D50. And at the moment, you see that the Essendon's actually got all their players in their forward line to group together deep.
So the wingers are going to the points of the square forward, and every other Essendon forward is basically just sitting on or outside the goal square.
Gone
Except
with
for
almost a
one last roll.
Alashbar is he's come up. Interesting. Don't know why he would be the one.
Brian taps it
Oh,
down.
no.
Quick handball from Durham. Merritt can't quite gather it. It ricochets back to Durham. Dumps it on the boot. Ricochets back into the mark. Roby can't get a kick away. And Carlton under the caretaker. Make it 4 on the trot. This is a new Carlton. They win a close one in the fourth quarter. Carlton by 5 points.
We are the Navy Blues. We are the old dark Navy Blues. We're the team that never lets you down. We're the only team old Carlton knows. With all the champions they like to send up, we'll keep our end up, and they will know that they've been playing against the famous old dark Blues.
It was a dramatic finish. Essendon kicking 2 goals late to nearly pinch it. Essendon did lead by 7 points at quarter time. They led by as many as 23 midway through the second, 14 at half time. Scores level at 3/4 time. Carlton got out by 18 midway or late into the fourth, 21 minutes in. And then Essendon closed. They had 20 seconds on the game clock to try and steal it at the end. They couldn't quite do it. And the Navy Blues, they win the Caretaker Cup 10-12-72 to 10-7-67.
We are the Navy Blues. We are the old dark Navy Blues. We're the team that never lets you down. We're the only team old Carlton knows. With all the champions they like to send up, we'll keep our end up, and they will know that they've been playing against the famous old dark Blues.
The Blues win again, just an all too familiar feeling with 10 seconds remaining. Essendon had to execute the perfect set play with the 6-6-6, and had it not been a fumble from Zach Merritt, they could have got a chance to go inside 50. In the end, 76,745 leave thinking we probably got better than 14th versus 18th deserved. Carlton 10-12-72 to the Bombers 10-7-67. For the winners, Harry Mackay booted 2 goals to Taylor Byrne and to Brodie Kemp. Individuals to Ainsworth, Haywood and Hewitt. While for the Bombers, 2 goals to Ben Mackay, 2 goals to Hassan Elashkar. Individuals to Durham, Jones, Redmond, Kondianis, Caddy, Reid, and Zach Reid in just his 32nd game of footy kicked his first goal with 10 seconds remaining to keep the game alive. It was more than we expected, and in the end it was a classic Carlton victory to now make it 4 on the trot as their mid-season revival continues. Daniel Harford and Chad Wingard try and make sense of all of that.
Oh, it was strange. I mean, it was a great game. It was strange. I've never seen a team switch up so quickly. I mean, Essendon went from going forward. They really wanted to shape behind the ball. They were losing territory with their handball, and they were looking to go back before going forward the whole game. Sorry, the whole last quarter. And Carlton just allowed pressure for Carlton to get in their face. I mean, that's the reason why they end up winning the tackle count in that last quarter. They put the pressure on. And end of the day, I thought Carlton probably could have won by more if they kicked a little bit straighter. But to be honest, the intent from both sides was very impressive today. That's what I really loved. They both had a crack. It's a close game. Could have went either way. It was a really cracking game of footy. And like I said, I think Essendon will be pretty filthy with the way that they attacked, especially that last quarter, even the last half. But Carlton, 4 on a trot.
Yeah.
Starting to get exciting for them.
Not much more they can do, the Baggers, so they'll be pleased about that. It was a game of 2 halves, wasn't it? We saw Essendon come out with a really nice plan, take the game on, be really aggressive, and see what happens. And they put themselves in a really good position. They lacked some class and some finishing skills, and that's probably most of us would be aware of that with the position they're in with their list demographic and their build. But they put a good plan together and they executed. And then the second half, we saw Carlton, who had been pretty lacklustre defensively, they decided to really crank that up. And that put enormous pressure on the Bombers offensively, and they just couldn't find a way through. And as a result of that, they got good looks in transition on turnover and put it back in Essendon's face and made them defend. And they were found wanting a few times. So I think it's a really good... I'll tell you what it is. It's another big tick in the box for Josh Fraser. to be able to identify a situation at half time and then get the players to be able to reset and find another way to get things back on terms, which is what they did in that second half. And they deserved the win in the end because of the way they did dominate that second half. But it was a tighter battle than I'm sure they all would have loved to have coming into this game. I reckon they were found wanting a bit, maybe a little bit laconic, and the Bombers took it up to them. But I think it's a big tick for Josh Fraser to be able to reset this group at halftime and get them to play a different brand defensively and get the result on the back of it.
So the Blues move to 5 wins and 8 losses. They move from 14th spot on the ladder to 13th. And technically, they're just a game behind the Giants in 10th spot. What a turnaround it's been for Carlton as they play 7 players who have 13 AFL games or less, and the youngsters continue to stand up. George Hewitt led the way with 27 disposals tonight, Sam Walsh with 24, and Billy Wilson alongside Jagger Smith with 24, while Zach Merritt had 33, Sam Durham with 30, and Will Setterfield with 29. As half said, it was a game of 2 halves. Essendon booted 6 goals to 3 in the first half. Carlton booted 7 goals to 4 in the second.
Just in case it comes up as well, the clock on pay TV froze at 44 seconds when Essendon were going forward. They kicked it into Reed, and then it skipped forward to 23 seconds remaining. So the countdown clock. Mitch Turner back in the studio has timed it for us, and it was frozen for exactly 21 seconds. So it skipped forward to the right time. No time was lost, but that is an issue that's with the clock that has been ongoing. So just if anyone was watching at home and noticed that, or you see something on social media, we're reliably informed that no time was lost. The other point was around Harry Mackay.
Well, there's a couple of bits of drama, isn't there?
Yeah, he marked it 53 metres out.
Yes.
And the umpire allowed him the 30 seconds because he said he was going back and kicking for goal. He was never kicking it from 58. So well, my theory would be half.
5-ish. He would have kicked it could have kicked it from 55.
I don't think he was going to kick it.
No, I absolutely with you.
My
how do you prove
theory
he's not going to?
So my theory is maybe to make that umpire easier for the umpires is if the mark's outside 50, he can't take you 30.
But what if Anthony Rocker marks the ball? No, I know it's not.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realise Anthony Rocker was still running.
It's 2000. Or a player who can kick.
Doesn't matter.
Why? Why would you rob him of the chance because he's a good kick and you rob him of the chance? You can't do that.
I just think it's the easiest because otherwise people will manipulate it like that.
Yeah. No, and
the umpire's got to make a judgment.
That was 100% manipulation.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if it's within the realms of their powers to make that judgment call.
Well, of course it is, because a player can't mark it on the back flank and say...
No, but 52 metres. That was 52 metres out, the player on the mark.
Yeah, right? But it's a spectrum, isn't it?
Well, everything's a spectrum if you want to play that game, but it's 52 metres out the bloke on the mark, right? So some guys would have a shot from 55 and get there.
Yeah.
So how do you say that Harry Mackay can't be one of those guys in that moment with adrenaline pumping? Now we all knew what was happening.
That's my point. Don't make the umpire make that judgment call.
Yeah, I think in that's a grey area. Had he been 5 metres further out, there's no way she lets him get away with it. But because it's 52, I reckon you do.
You two have a podcast and continue to debate this. Chad, if you were on the opposing side, would you feel harshly done by if Harry Mackay takes the full 30 seconds from outside 50?
No, because it's within the rules. That's what the rules state. I think it's smart for players. I mean, we take 7 seconds from every mark. I mean, you think about when it's late in the game and they chip around, that's manipulation of the rules. It is within the rules. He's potentially could have gone for goal, and he might have got on the goal line, to be honest. So, and that could have been a shot on goal. And so whether we're not adjudicating whether he's gone for goal or not, which he clearly wasn't. But was he within the rules? Yes, and I think that's a good time management, which a lot of teams do that in some way or form.
The other controversial moment was Jacob Farrer, who gave the shove to Brodie Kemp. Once the ball had gone out of play, the umpire deemed that pushing him into the fence justified a free kick. Kemp went back and nailed the goal. Now, from that point onwards, you'd say, well, you know, the Bombers were able to kick the last 2 goals of the match, so they still had a chance. But these are little sort of moments in the margins when the games are close that I'm sure the fans are going to debate whether the right decision was made.
No doubt. No doubt. I'd be keen to hear from a few of them if they want to get involved in that conversation. I'd love to hear it, but yeah.
No, we were split. You thought absolutely not a free kick. No. Chad thought it was.
Yep.
Benny
can't play because he's got the leadnesses.
I'm probably a no.
No free
probably
kick?
With you, half. Yeah. I thought he
so
just
split
sort of,
right down the middle.
Yeah.
Left-hand side of the box says no, right-hand side says yes.
Doesn't that tell you everything you need to know about the umpire's job?
Yeah, it's impossible. Yeah.
Possible.
It's an impossible game to umpire. And it's important to remind people that at times too, Benny. It's a good point.
The Blues make it 4 wins on the trot as they leave the MCG. What a difference a month makes as the fans are leaning over and clapping in encouragement as their season is still alive. 5 wins and 8 losses as they head to the bye now. They're equal on points with St Kilda, who are in 12th spot, Collingwood, and it's just a game further clear, and they play, of course, tomorrow. And the Giants in 10th spot at the moment. Off the back of the bye, they play the Giants and then the West Coast Eagles. So the possibilities for Carlton to try and sneak into a wild card is still very much alive as Josh Fraser turns this side around. While for the Bombers, chasing a second win of the season, they fall agonisingly 5 points short after putting up far more fight under Dean Solomon this week than they did last week against the West Coast Eagles. Let's join the Baggers. Lauren Borden's down in their change rooms.
It's heaving down here, Clinchy, absolutely heaving as the players come in, led by Patrick Cripps, of course, for their 4th win in a row to sing the song again. But so many family in here and friends and just a huge crowd. Everyone's got their phones out as well. Try to capture a little piece of this moment. Completely blue and white, as you can imagine, inside these change rooms. A big sign that says "Stronger Together" is the overarching theme, I guess, in these club rooms, and something that they've got up on the board next to their cricket board as well, with the Test centuries inside these change rooms at the MCG. But 4 in a row as they form a very big circle. They've got to close it up here as well. So George Schultz just coming in there next to Nick Newman to close up the circle as they get ready to sing their song for the 4th time in a row. A bit routine now these days for the Blues inside these rooms singing the song again, but plenty of happy fans here. I think everyone's wrapped. They're pretty happy to see another win, and who knows, like I said last week, they may never lose again, these fans. That's what they're thinking at the moment, at least.
That's the thing, isn't it, Laws? You just don't know how far these Blues can go now that they've found a winning combination. It was a better quality opponent last week in the Cats, but they do keep the momentum going. A 5-point win to move to 5 wins and 8 losses. How will the Mackay family be feeling tonight? Harry Mackay booted 3, Ben Mackay booted 2. They were involved in a bit of scuffling. It was the teammates that came in to remonstrate at times, and Harry probably kicked one of the worst goals we've seen all year, but it doesn't matter.
At least they weren't on each other this time. I mean, that makes it a little bit easier for family members.
What rooms has Mum gone to? Where's Trace gone?
Winners, always.
At the scarf, which is half Carlton, half Essendon.
Did she pop into the Bombers one on the way through, on the way out?
Nah,
they're only separated by 40 metres.
Yeah, and maybe 12 minutes. 12 minutes and 40 metres tonight. 12 minutes of birth.
Was it?
No, I don't know. Whatever it was, wouldn't have been long.
Just said yes.
Sure, just say yes.
Ben would have gone with you.
Yeah, it's.
But what do you think about
Ben Mackay?
Ben as a forward? Is it something they can build on?
Yeah, I think that he looked quite dangerous. And I think if you've got Caddy down there, he provides that other big foil for Caddy who might get the second best defender, or he's certainly going to get a roll-off defender holding position a bit more if you've got Harry down there. And then Harrison Jones is the other one. Sorry, Ben. Harrison Jones is the other one. Now, he didn't have a big night tonight, first came back after over a year. But he's a really good mobile forward talent too. So if they can put those 3 players together and they can create some chemistry, get a bit of system going, that they will be a relatively large handful if they get enough ball.
Peter Wright, of course, out of the lineup. It's interesting to see. Rumours are that they're into Jed Walter, as every team is, who's looking for a forward at the moment. Do you think Ben Mackay is a forward or a defender at the moment, Chad?
I think at the moment with their team structure, he is best case to be a forward. I mean, you think about, like you've just mentioned with Nate Caddy and the help that he does need. Also, it just creates another, again, he might get the best tool back one game. He might get the second best. His reading of the ball in the air from being a defender, it's helping me as a forward. Like, he's just constant movement. Like, he looked great in the lead up. He actually looked far better than Nate at times tonight.
Yep.
the thing that I think, again, just for the demeanour as well, you need someone that's going to push and shove, because Nat Caddy's not that kind of player. He's an athletic, make something out of nothing kind of player, which is great. Without Peter Wright down there, you need someone a bit of push and shove and just to crash the contest. So he does provide that.
Yeah, and if you're going to get Zach Reed to play that sort of game down back, you've got to keep Billy. You can start to really invest in believing if he can keep his body right. It does mean they'll probably be a bit compromised key post-wise down there. I mean, Langford played a bit of that role tonight as almost a key poster behind the ball. And you wouldn't necessarily want him doing that too often. I wouldn't think. Brian's sort of learning his trade still. So they're a little bit compromised when you take Mackay out of there structurally, but I think the benefits outweigh the problems for the Bombers if they could continue that.
The Blues winners by 5 points, 10-12-72 to Essendon 10-7-67. Let's join them with Lauren Borden in the Carlton rooms.
Thanks, Quincy. I've got Ben Ainsworth alongside me in the victorious Carlton rooms. Ben, 4 wins in a row. Do the first 10 rounds of the season feel like a lifetime ago for you?
Yeah, it's a bit like that. No, very proud of the boys for the last 4 or 5 weeks. We've been building towards it for a long period, but yeah, happy with the win tonight.
And there was a little bit of argy-bargy out there on the field. Did you get involved in it?
Yeah, I sort of just need to swing the momentum a little bit, but I got us going a little bit, but nothing in it. Just good. It's good.
Well, there were 76,000 out there at the MCG to watch today, so the rivalry's still alive between Essendon and Carlton. It's your first time playing in this match with the Blues. Did it feel any different, I guess, playing in a rivalry like this?
Yeah, no, it was very cool, especially the pre-game stuff as well with Neil Danaher and showing our respects there. That was unbelievable, the atmosphere there, and the AFL do a great job in doing all that sort of stuff. But yeah, the rivalry between Essendon and Carlton was first experience tonight, and it was a good one. So good to come out with the 4 points.
We were just chatting to Ash Hansen pre-match, and he said that you looked at Melbourne as, I guess, the blueprint of what you expect Essendon to show, because you wanted to expect them at their best. So when they came out and got a little bit of the jump on you, was that what you were expecting from them?
Yeah, I think so. I know Dean Sullivan pretty well, and he's one of the great motivators, and they obviously had a little bit more to play for with Neil Danaher and all that sort of stuff, so they were always going to come out firing, and their pressure was really, really good for the first half, and we knew we had to match it. We were expecting it through the week, but we probably just didn't come out well enough in terms of pressure, and once we lifted that, I thought we got control of the game.
What's the link between you and Dean Sullivan?
We were at the Gold Coast together, so he was senior assistant, I reckon, there for a bit, and then he was the interim coach. I think it was at the back end of my first or second year, so he's a ripping fella.
There we go. So in the interim role at the moment at the Bombers, Daniel Harford's upstairs, Chan Wingard as well. I'll send you up there to get some questions for our ABC Sport experts.
Thanks, Liz. Benny, well done to you and the boys. 4 in a row is a nice thing. I'm interested in the conversation at half time. You talked about the pressure not being up to scratch in the first half. Was it structural or was it just effort-based? Because you had 16 tackles in the first half. You had 15 in the third quarter.
Yeah, gee, I didn't know that. It probably was a little bit to do with effort. I think our pressure was about 1.56 in that second quarter there, which is just below expectations. So, we come out firing in the third quarter and got it back on our terms, and got the 4 points. So it was a good response.
So, and that's the thing. It was a great response. So, who led that? Was that player driven or coach driven? And how impressed are you that you are able to just not flick the switch, but just alter gears when you need to change the game to get it back on your terms?
Yeah, I think it was a collective response. Obviously led by Fraser at half time. He gave us a fair firing, but for the boys to come out in the third quarter and put on that display and then hold it for the fourth quarter when they were coming as well. It was really good. What
does that look like, a Josh Fraser firing? Because he seems to come across a pretty laid back sort of dude.
Yeah, I didn't know whether to laugh or... but no, it was good. He always gets us fired up, the big fella, and he's been doing a fantastic job for us over the 4 weeks that he's been interim coach, and as it shows on the wins.
And Benny, congrats, mate. Congrats on the win, and 4 wins in a row. A lot of pressure would have been building, obviously, at the club. We all know that. But what's been shifted? I mean, it's been heavily spoken about, obviously, your ball movement, the uncontested marks, but what's something that, obviously, the club in the last 4 weeks really focusing on? Obviously, new coach, a lot going on. Second half, you're better than you have been previously. What's something that you've really been bringing to the table last 4 weeks?
I think we've quietly just simplified a lot of things, getting back to putting pressure on the opponents, which in the first half, as I said, wasn't good enough, but then in the second half it was. And then, as you say, our uncontested mark game has been building, but then also looking for opportunities to take the game on when needed. Feel like we did that at the right times throughout the night. Still a lot of RFIs, but I thought we did pretty well.
And Harry's shot on goal, the one that helicoptered landed just 5 metres past. Whereabouts were you when you saw that one?
Mate, I was right next to him. I just started laughing and turned the other way. But to be honest, mine wasn't too much better in the last quarter there, so I couldn't speak too much. But no, we have a goal kicking competition every captain's run, and he often brings out the helicopters, so he's been practicing it.
Ben, should Josh Fraser be rethinking his decision to not go for the gig?
Bloody oath, mate, he's 4-0. No, I don't know. He's an unbelievable human. He just instills a lot of confidence in the lads, and as I said, just simplifies the game. Bring pressure, and everyone knows what they're doing out there, so just having full trust in the playing group. And I don't know what he's going to do at the end of the year, but if we keep going like this, he might have a job.
Ben Ainsworth is with us in the Carlton rooms. The real question I want to ask is, you played your junior footy with the Mackays, didn't you, in Gippsland? So that sort of carry on, was that what you expected tonight?
Yeah, no, it's always a little bit of fun. Played under 18s Gippsland Power with them, and a little bit of big country. So always good to see Benny out there, and big hater at training and whatnot. He's a good fella.
So in the under 18s, they were full back and full forward, weren't they?
They were, yeah. It was pretty handy bookends.
And how are you enjoying life in Melbourne? You're obviously at a big club in Carlton, and you realise the media attention when things aren't going well.
Yeah, it's bloody oath. The first 10 weeks are pretty difficult, as I've found out firsthand. But the good outweighs the bad, I reckon. To hear the supporters last week when Cripper took that mark and kicked the goal was unbelievable. And then again this week, once we hit the front in the last quarter, was second to none. So love the Blue Baggers.
It sort of feels like your confidence has lifted in the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks. Is that sort of a different role in which you're playing for the Suns? Is it clearer clarification in terms of what they're asking from you, or is it just a combination of everything trying to click at once?
Not much has changed in terms of my role, but just sort of getting a little bit more confidence in my game and taking it on, I suppose. And I think I've had a pretty good 3 or 4 weeks and fixed up a few things, but relatively happy with how I'm going.
What does the bye look like for you?
Heading back up to the Goldie actually tomorrow, so go catch up with a few familiar faces and a bit of rest time, I reckon.
All right, well, thanks as always for your time. Congratulations on a 5-point win, and good luck against the GWS Giants in a couple of weeks' time.
Cheers, thanks guys, appreciate it.
Ben Ainsworth joining us from the Victorious Blues rooms, 10-12-72 to Essendon 10-7-67 in front of 76,745 fans. Good support for Josh Fraser.
Not surprised.
That's about as strong as anyone's come out and supported him. They generally sort of played it down a bit.
Yeah, not surprised. He's a pretty sort of rugged customer, Benny. He's loyal, even though I know he's changed clubs, but that happens in modern footy. Loyal sort of dude.
You're not going to come out and say no while you're winning, are you?
And we get asked a leading question, like you asked him, Benny, leading. You're not going to say, nah, he's rubbish.
After a win as well. Yeah, up and about. Just saying this.
And after 4 in a row, that's right, well, like he said.
No, but he could take it wherever he wanted, and he was strong.
Yep, no, he was good, full support of the board.
He said oath, and he said 4-0, and he's a great bloke.
Full support of the board, mate.
Yep.
It's a nice response for Josh Fraser.
Of the board?
Yeah, then I got sacked.
That's when the VAFA lost to South Australia.
Why would you bring that up?
The VAFA board giving you their full support today?
Until I get sacked tomorrow, probably, and we'll see how we go.
I mean, the success of interim coaches.
You say, these blokes are amateurs.
You two, waxing away. When you think of the likes of, Paul Roos, Reece Shaw, David Teague is the obvious example. It is your job until they appoint someone else. So
yeah, that's true.
It does open the possibilities in terms of if you can gather momentum. And if you got the Blues into a wildcard spot, if they win a final, how much would it take to change that narrative?
So what do they won now? How many games? 5?
4 in a row.
Yeah,
they've won 5 for the season.
5 for the season, yeah. So I was just going through their draw before. You mentioned the Giants after their bye. That's away. And then they've got 9 games in Melbourne. So they play the Eagles at Docklands and 3 games at the G back-to-back, Richmond, Hawthorn, Collingwood. Not easy. Richmond they should win, and Collingwood they probably should too, the way they're playing.
Yep.
And then it's 5 games in a row to finish the season at Docklands. Gold Coast, Brisbane, St Kilda, Bulldogs, Freo. Now, 2 of those are other co-tenants. But if you can get... if you're going to need 2 of them... If you go into that 5 stretch with 8 and you win 2 of them, you might get yourself a wild card spot. It's possible. It's absolutely possible.
Does it blow your mind, Chad, to think that you could have a losing season and still feature in a wild card match?
Yeah, it's crazy, but I love it. I mean, like you said, you've got teams like this who've got something to hunt for now. Previously, they'd just be riding off the season. So they've got something to fight for, and like I said, 4 in a row. And the season can change so quickly, so many games on. It's just exciting. It's exciting for so many clubs to still be in with the chance.
The question is, though, on the back of that, and I don't think we've had this discussion, Clinchy, is that success? If you win 10, now for Carlton probably is where they've been, but is that a definition of a successful year? 10 in a wild card game.
Well, you chat with coaches and they obviously express the disappointment that there's only real one winner of the Premier. So it would be nice to sort of celebrate in a sense that a season you've made progress, but that's not really the way we've looked at it. So I guess by having more finals games, it does give you the opportunity to say, well, we've made improvement or we featured in a wild card game. I'm not sure it necessarily gives you that much grace, does it?
Yeah, no, that's sort of what I'm saying. I think I'm with you.
For the club, it gives you the chance to maybe make some more money if you get to host a final, for example. But
that's all AFL revenue in the finals.
Yeah.
We get some merch, they might sell an extra scarf.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think it's interesting.
You're selling hope. You're selling hope. People coming through the doors come to watch their team, something to be excited for.
It does keep a big club here in Melbourne relevant with a big fan base, so the Carlton fans will keep coming.
Oh, and that's
we had
good.
76,000 tonight.
That's good for footy.
That's good for footy.
Great for footy.
More, they'll keep downloading our podcast.
No doubt. Mondays.
Up and to the right is what I keep hearing.
Is that right? Skyrocketing ratings. This is
To
fantastic
the moon.
for us.
We're going to the moon.
Sometimes if you just keep saying stuff, people eventually will buy onto that.
To the right.
Carlton 5-point winners over Essendon 10-12-72 to the Bombers 10-7-67. Mitch, turner back at base, has been telling us, by the way, there was only 1 minute between the twins' birth, Ben, then Harry.
1 minute?
1 minute.
Whoa.
Pete
Doesn't seem like long to be delivering humans.
No, it certainly does not.
On your trace.
Yeah, Ben then Harry as well. So Ben's the older twin.
Yep.
Bang, bang. Whooshka.
Pete from Balaclava says, Bombers had 16 outs, so a much better effort on 0-4-3-7, 7-7-4, 7-7-4. Can Dean Solomon bottle a little of what he got tonight to try and back that up? They take on the Demons at the MCG next Saturday. The one team they have beaten so far this season, be it as abnormal as it was.
They were impressive. I thought for 4 quarters.
First half.
They were even the last little bit. They still scored pretty well. Like Katie obviously had the last one and had a chance again to win this game. So for 4 quarters of effort, if we're judging pure effort, I think you tick that box.
Yep.
Execution, probably not inside foot there, forward 50. But like I said, you've got so many outs and you don't have Peter Wright, and you're mixing your team around to try and make a functional team.
So, sorry.
But in terms of their effort, which is what they've been lacking previously, I think that's a huge tick for Solomon. I think that's that you keep making sure you checkpoint, because you can get lost in the wins and losses, especially when you've lost this many in a row.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a good point. I think there was progress tonight. I was relatively impressed with how they went about it in the first half. Lost their way a little bit, lost their confidence. A team came at them and they didn't respond very well. So that's part of their growth opportunity. And Solly, I'm sure we'll be all over that in review. The problem for the Bombers, outside of the injuries and the form line currently, they can't score. Like last 4 weeks, they scored 61 against Freo, 56 against Richmond, 55 against West Coast last week, and 67 tonight. They're just, 11 goals, 10, 11 goals isn't going to win you many games.
No.
You've got to find a way. In modern footy, you have to be kicking 90 points, or at least 80, and they can't get near it at the moment. So that's a problem. That says personnel as much as anything, I think, and availability. So that's their challenge, but they've got to find a way with what they've got to hit the scoreboard more often.
A little bit of method, though. They were shaping back a lot to go forward.
Well,
they were losing ground.
That's been Brad Scott's almost DNA in his recent years, is backing around all the time rather than taking the game forward, which is what they did in the first half. They advanced the game a bit, and they were bold. And they made a few mistakes on the back of it, and they got scored against on the back of it, but they still tried a new brand. It's going to be more successful for them long term now, because it doesn't matter now, right? It doesn't matter. They can try anything they like. It doesn't matter, really, as long as they're showing an effort or an intent to try and be better. And then we'll see patches of games like we saw today in the first half in particular, they show they are better. Then I'm sure that's all the fans want. We're leading into a regime change.
What about this as well? If you go back to 2023, Carlton are better placed in terms of wins coming out of this game than they were in 2023. They were 4 wins then, and that was when they were en route to a prelim final.
Are you suggesting that history can repeat?
Oh, I don't think it will, but it's just fascinating when you look at what is possible. Who knows?
Look at Brisbane Lions the last couple of years. They haven't started, well, last 3 years really.
That was quite a run, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Only 3 for the Baggers.
And Dean Solomon did make the point for the Bombers. They've got players coming back. They're hopeful they'll get the other side of the bye. So they take on Melbourne, then they have the bye in North Melbourne. So Jai Caldwell is about 3 weeks away. Angus Clark a week away with a foot injury. Guelphy 2 to 3 with a hamstring injury. Kako 2 to 3 with a back injury. Andy McGrath probably 2 to 3 with that jaw injury. McMahon with an ankle 2 to 3. Sharp with a shoulder 1 to 2. So there is some reinforcements coming, but
They get 5 back at some stage the next 2 or 3 weeks.
certainly the inclusion of
help.
Mason Redman tonight. He had 12 disposals going at 100% kicking efficiency, and Sam Durham was the big one with 30 disposals. He had 7 inside 50s, 8 score involvements, and a goal. I think we can take you down to the Bombers' rooms. Lauren Borden has made her way there.
Thanks, Clincy. Jackson Pry's been good enough to join me in the Essendon rooms, which there's quite a nice atmosphere here at the moment, Jackson, but a close loss there. What's your takeout from the 5-point loss?
Yeah, obviously frustrating to lose that one. We really thought we were in with a good chance to win it. But, I mean, I feel like in the last 2 weeks the group's taken some big strides forward. Obviously didn't get the result, like I said, but I think we can build on some things and implement them going forward, and, yeah, it's going to turn soon.
What's the biggest sense that you got in the last 2 weeks under Dean Solomon that maybe has shifted and allowed that vibe to maybe lift a little bit?
I think we've just really stripped back everything and found the reason why we love playing footy, going back to our contest. That's the most important thing. Pretty much it. Solly was a heart and soul player, and he wants to see that in us. So yeah, we're trying to bring that out.
Do you bring it out a little bit more when you play Carlton as well? You probably have some memories as a kid watching Essendon play Carlton, but with Dean Solomon as the coach as well. Was there a little bit more going out into that match against Carlton?
You hear all the fans talk about it throughout the week, and you feel a sense of responsibility to go out there and perform and provide a good contest for them to see. Personally, no, you don't hold anything against Carlton, but no love lost when you're out there. Stuff happens, so it was a good battle.
There was a little bit of pushing and shoving out there today. I'll send you upstairs now for some more questions from Chad Wingard and Daniel Harford.
Jackson, Daniel Harford, mate, thanks for having a chat to us after the game. We appreciate that. I'm interested in you talking about contest and clearance and contested possession, that sort of stuff. Is that the new DNA that everything's coming back to start the rebuild?
I guess so. I mean, the ball starts in the contest, and it's probably not something that is a skill thing or whatnot. It's just an intent and a want to win the ball and how hard you want to crack in. And if you get that right, the foundations of your game are there, and you can build out from there.
So building out offensively, in the first half you looked really slick. You tried to get the ball offline. You took it through the corridor a bit. You're quite bold, made a few mistakes, but quite bold, which I really liked. I must admit, you got yourself in a winning position on the back of that. And then they pressed you a bit harder in the second half, and it reverted back to maybe what's happened in the last 12 months or so. Is that how you saw it as well?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, late in the third quarter, we're in front in the game, and for this group, it's something that we haven't really experienced too much lately. So, we just it will take a great learning from that we sort of did go back into our shells a little bit, stop using the ball through the middle of the ground and being bold. But yeah, post game, sitting in that meeting, then we did speak about it, and how do we just stick to process, stick to that, and keep building our game out.
Jackson, Chad Wingard here, mate. Thanks for joining us as well. Inside 50s is something I want to talk about. You win that account by 4, so 49 to 45, but the last 4 weeks unable to score over 70 points. I know you're talking about your DNA getting back to the contested possessions and clearances, but what can you do to try and get those scores a little bit higher so you can contend with some of the high-scoring teams?
I think it's on the training track. I mean, throughout tonight we saw Nate Cuddy providing great presence at the ball and whatnot, and some balls just fell short, some went over his head. If we tidy up a bit of that connection going inside 50, it's simple skill stuff, then I think it's going to lead to bigger scores. It's quite simple, but if we can execute the basics, then our scores are going to come off the back of that. And
over 4 quarters, we're talking about effort. So yes, you tick the box with contested possessions and clearances, but how do you think the boys went? Can you look each other in the eye? Because from the eyes, from watching the game, you guys look like you had a genuine crack through the 4 quarters.
Yeah, I think so. And stripping our game right back to our, what it means to be an Essendon player. I think we can all walk off the ground tonight. obviously we had moments we want back, but I think as a collective we took another step forward in that. And we want to be known as a team that provides great contest, and we want to be trustworthy to each other. So I think we took a step forward in that. We can look each other in the eyes and take some positives.
We really appreciate your time. Thanks for giving us some insights into the Bombers camp. Good luck against the Demons next week.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
Jackson Pryor joining us from the Bombers rooms. Carlton winners by 5 points.
Just to jump back to the Mackay shot late. So Ken Hinkley on Fox Footy tonight said that he sought clarification about that exact incident and that sort of thing when he was coaching at Port. And they told him that if the man on the mark was on the 50, they'd allow it. Anything beyond that, they would have to be exceptionally convinced that the player had that kick.
So
must have been exceptionally convinced.
was convinced.
Yeah,
He's a big kick.
He's a long kick.
55,
Yeah.
I'd
It's a long kick. And what if it gets the goal line? Look, it's a tight game, and he gets the goal line, they fist it through for a point.
Oh, I think, that's a good point. But, then kick it quicker to the goal line. I think it could be a hard and fast rule.
Oh, hard and fast.
Yeah. With a 50-metre arc.
If you start opening up more keys.
Righto.
and holding grudges.
I think...
Fourth man.
Park your car.
Fourth man got a mention yesterday.
Did indeed. I think Harry Mackay spoke on TV and said they practice that sort of thing from 75 metres out, so he was rather thankful that the umpire agreed he was having a shot. So I think if that's any indication, that Greg Swan might just say, you know what, let's call play on if they're more than 60 metres out. The Blues winners by 5 points. The votes for the ABC Footballer of the Year. Chad Wingard got a hand pass at half-time,
yes.
which is almost as early as I've heard it given and accepted. Normally it gets fired back if that's the case.
Yep, nice little hospital ball at half-time, but I caught it, and we're going to go with our one vote. We're going to give it to Hewitt. 27 disposals, 1 goal. He had a game-high 11 contested possessions, so he was the one for me. Yes, he went at 46%, but he got the clearances done. He did all the hard work. For when Carlton were really starting to get momentum, he was one of the forces. 2. The helicopter himself.
Oh, wow.
3 goals, 2 in a game like this with low scoring.
Yep.
He had 7 marks, 16 disposals, a couple hit-outs, 5 clearances. He was everywhere, and he impacted the area wherever he was. So I really thought that he could have had a big game, mind you, but for a full forward and someone who pinch hit in the ruck, got 5 clearances, I thought he was really, really impressive. But 3 votes goes to Durham. 30 disposals, 1 goal, and a game-leading 8 score involvements. Yes, in a losing side, but I thought he, obviously, first half was super impressive. And there's some honourable mentions. I mean, Zach Merritt, he was great, obviously, but he really burnt the ball and some costly turnovers late, especially he had 3 clangers when they were really putting the pressure on him. So 1 to Hewitt, 2 to Harry Mackay, and 3 to Durham.
Votes in the ABC Footballer of the Year from Chad Wingard. Now on TV on Channel 7, Kane Corrs posed the question to Josh Fraser if he'd take the job if he was offered it right now.
Can I ask it, if they ask you to apply, what's the answer?
That's a big hypothetical, and my answer right now would be no.
Right. So Chris Davies comes to you and you're going to be strong with him in saying, no, you feel like you've got a bit more work to do before you're in that spot.
Yeah, I feel like I've got growth in me, and I'm hopeful at the end of this opportunity I'm much better prepared, and I'm learning a lot all the time. But yeah, I'm pretty consistent with my answer.
So Josh Fraser holding the line that for the moment he's not ready to coach.
So he's consistent with his answer publicly. I wonder if there's a bit of a change privately. Now that's because I think it's important to toe the line and stay the course with your initial response if you're Josh Fraser publicly. But he'd have to be starting to think, hey, this fits me pretty well. So I'm going all right here.
I think it's smart by him. It takes the conversation takes the conversation being away from him and how well the team's going.
Yep.
So there's actually no other way I don't think you could answer that, if I'm being honest, because then it puts pressure on him.
Yep.
Which he doesn't have at the moment.
And all of a sudden,
the other part is his players are answering it on his behalf. Ben Ainsworth said 4-0, keep it going. Carlton winners by 5 points, 10-12-72 to the Bombers 10-7-67 in front of 76,745 fans. Chad, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me as always.
We're going to get you back in at some stage. We seem to be missing each other half. We'll see you again next Sunday.
Look forward to that.
And of course with the podcast with Ben Cameron, you can catch it at the ABC AFL Daily Podcast. Thank you, Benny.
Thanks, Clinchy.
Thanks to Loz Borden down in the rooms, to Stuart Hollywood Baker at the back of the box, and to Mitch Turner back in the studio. Tomorrow, of course, round 13 of the AFL concludes with the big Kings birthday clash from the MCG. The Blue Beanies in memory of Neil Danaher. Corby and Ben will be your call team alongside Luke Ball and Bob Murphy. Lauren Borton will be down on the boundary. So all the lead up from 2 p.m. with coverage on ABC. Listen, if it's not on your local radio, the Blues, they make it 4 on the trot under Josh Fraser. They're eyeing a spot in the finals if they can keep it going. Too strong in the end for the Bombers. 10-12-72 to 10-7 67. Thanks for your company so much tonight as round 13 of the AFL looks to come to a close. And just a reminder, the state funeral for Neil Danaher will be broadcast on ABC Sport Digital and ABC Listen from 1 p.m. on Wednesday if you want to tune into that. The footy coverage continues tomorrow with a big King's birthday clash between Collingwood and Melbourne. Until then, thanks for your company on ABC Sport.